Okay, just kicking up the YouTube stream. And let's just chill here for a sec. We're waiting for the game to start. I want to look at the patch notes because I want to look at the patch notes because I actually don't know what made it into this patch. Allegedly, not too much. Belveth. I heard Belveth's like curve was getting really good in terms of like learning curve on the new like air quotes version. Conqueror says, wow, base damage up by 15. This is just a flat 15 damage increase. This is crazy. Yo, this spell does 25% more damage early. Effectively. 15 damage base increase. This champ is meta now, I think. 15 is nuts. Yeah, and you max it second. Like, for the first three... Like, for the first 3 levels especially, or I guess, like, you technically get a second. So, like, level 2, I would say, through, like, level 4. This is, like, a crazy, crazy buff. Okay. Health growth down. True total attack speed, scaling down. Resource bar now turns purple when true form can respawn Remora. Okay, it's a nice little visual indicator. Roaming supports all the rage. Camille's been queen. Let's see what they ended up doing here, because I'm very, very curious. Shield, 20% maximum health, down to 10/15/20/15. Scaling with levels. Cooldown is lower. So if you're in combat, this should theoretically, like, obviously laning, this should theoretically over time give you more EHP. But the problem is the shield used to be so big that you could tank tower shots and things like that. So it changes the dynamic of those trades, and I'm not fully sure about that. That sounds not awesome for the Camille laners low-key early, but I'm sure they'll figure some shit out. Touch sweet cooldown down by 3 seconds. Okay, so this buff actually did end up going through. Huh. Well. And the damage is increased. I don't know. Do you know what my problem is with these changes? Is that even though they're obviously very good for lane Camille, I just don't see a world where this impacts support Camille. Like, I don't think this really impacts her roaming ability. So this just feels like a net buff. Which obviously I guess is supposed to be the intention. And in top lane she doesn't feel great to play. And she only really feels good in like traditionally good Camille matchups, but IDK, bro. Does not feel good, I think. Gwendoline is slightly weak, but has sustained back towards where it has previously been. Be more powerful state. Heal on champions, 50% post mitigation, capped at to 76. Very good. Very good. Capped at 12 for you based on 7% AP. Okay. With the reshape the Hextech Rocket Belt to prevent it from becoming the ubiquitous legend mage legendary. Kennen came out behind the pack, buffing him to compensate, making sure he is rewarded when he does find the right flanks for those team fight ults. More bonus resists, very nice. Damage. I mean, a little bit of AP ratio. Yeah, I mean, honestly, Kennen deals so much damage anyway. Stacks free, increase to 12 on champions, large mountain. Very, very interesting. Seems a bit odd to touch, but it's whatever. And oh my god, I know they gutted Poppy's damage, didn't they? Base AD down by 4. Poppy is meant to be a tank whose gameplay leaned too far into early game snowball fire, to the point she's choosing Halo Blades and Sundered Sky over more tank runes and items. Looking to shift power out of her early game AD fight pattern and enable her tank pattern by significantly increasing her scaling with durability. More base mana. Oh my god, lane Poppy needs this. So this obviously twice. Base damage unchanged. Bonus attack damage ratio reduced by 25%. Target health 9% to now having a scaling 9%. Huh. Slow amount also decreased. I mean, this is just a net nerf. This isn't even like making her tank pattern better. Though this is nice, but this isn't going to feel as OP early. Yeah, rest in peace Poppy, bro. The fuck? This shit is some penis. This like adds up for sure. Well, I feel bad for people that play Poppy. Like Loki in any role. That does not look like a good change. But I guess the question is like, how do you give Poppy more like tankiness? And the only place where she gets tankiness is actually, I guess, her passive. They could have made her passive. They could have given her passive more like shield value or something. Just figure it out. Alright. Chat. It's BLG versus JDG. It's the classic of recent years.
That prio, because there's other things like Viper having played a ridiculous amount of different champions this split, which is hilarious.
Oh, is my multi-chat not working? My multi-chat's not working. Yeah, BLG FLANDRE, it is kind of nuts.
Flavor of JDG that really made them a force all throughout this year in some regards.
Here's the rest of the patch notes, arguably more important than champ changes, by the way.
Them, especially
well, we're not in draft yet, so yeah, sure, why not? Berserker Greaves, attack speed up by 5, both tiers. Black Cleaver, attack damage up by 5. Further move speed has been changed to have a melee ranged modifier. Eclipse. Eclipse has similarly fallen behind as an AD option. Has it? Has it? I think Eclipse is fucking broken. Well, broken is maybe a strong word. It's just very, very strong still. 8% target maximum health. What? Shield. Okay, they nerfed the shield a little bit. But that's a change you almost always take. That's a crazy increase to damage. Move speed up by 5%, attack damage 65. That's nice, but I think people are still not going to be building this item. Sterex up by 5%. Sundered Sky, oh my god. Seeing a visual of this would be a lot better, but Coolfield's Tunneler, Ruby Crystal, 900 gold. I know they've completely killed the healing. Oh my god. And it's just Tunneler, Coolfields, and 900. Oh wow. I saw the Sunfire Cape changes. They looked really goofy. Chain-laced Crushers getting nerfed, sure. And Spellslinger Shoes getting buffed, of course. Tiamat attack damage up, that's pretty good. Fleet's getting a sustain buff. Hob is actually getting nerfed. All right, the draft started. Sorry, we gotta go.
Always see, we do see the high profile ones banned.
3 mid bans in
Not
tonight.
usually 5 out of 6. It
Into
is the
BLG
Ezreal
first
locked in for
picking
Viper, though.
Ezreal
Very
because they
safe
just don't
pick,
care.
Very
Respect.
strong pick. Very big late game carry, and that's exactly up Viper's alley and what he's been playing towards recently.
Yeah, Ezreal, his second most played champion of the split, only behind, of course, what we all expected, the Xerath, in terms of most played champions.
Great champion.
Yes. You know,
Rumbel,
it's definitely a very
Jarvan.
consistent pick. It lets him play weak side in this.
Even into
does tell
Ezreal, I
me
think
that
you
they want
kinda don't
to
care.
try and
Jarvan
get something
kinda
strong for
OP.
Knight in the mid lane from a matchup perspective. Probably going to be saving him for a little bit later.
Oh, but
It's gonna
Poppy's
be the
up, so
Rumble
maybe you
pick
don't.
on the top side, generally very, calm and collected, can really match up in anything, and this has really been Xiaoshu's
So it could just take
champion
Rumble and
over
like
the course of the last, year.
Honestly, now that you know
Even
you're
going
leaning
back
into
to last
Ezreal,
year at the end on JDG when he first
could
got
go
picked up,
Jhin and
this
like
has definitely been the pick that they wanted to
yeah,
go
could
towards.
go
So I think
Jhin
that
and like
consistency makes a lot
Leona
of sense
or
here.
Nautilus on 3.
Get the Jhin locked in on top of that, so going with a little bit more standoff.
But the problem is now Jarvan
Yes,
gets
if
taken on the other
that's a
side.
Probably not, but
Bard
we'll
is
see
also
what
really
the
good.
combo is going to be. I expect the bot lane to be picked up here, at least for BLG.
But
Just
this
to
does
get
read
that
as a
out
bit
of
of a
the way and get
handshake.
some powerful picks
You go
in that
Bard,
2v2,
you're
something
like
that
kind
can
of
roam
goading
away
JDG
at
to go
least as
Ezreal,
well. Would be very powerful on something
Nautilus.
really highlighting, but we'll see what they want to delve out for the rest of this first phase. They will have the back-to-back.
I mean, same thing for Karma too.
Set up here. Oh, Karma. And there's the
Yeah,
Syndra.
Karma and Syndra. I like this a lot. For BLG, you get a really powerful 2v2 lane. Karma is a takeaway. Jhin Karma is a very strong poke lane, so to get yourself that poke lane with the Ezreal gives you strong side. Jin's going to be more weak side. JDG is going to have roam priority with Vampire, most likely, because they're going to get to pick some sort of playmaking support, whether that be a Camille, Shen,
I think
or
Nautilus is
if
mega
you just
here.
want to go for a Nautilus, Leona kind of thing. I think
Yeah,
all
yeah.
of them could make sense in this particular instance. But I want to talk about that Syndra because we're looking at all of these mid lane bans. Well, now we're going into second rotation. JDG have still yet to pick their mid laner. We already have
gonna be
6
two
mid lane
protection
champions
bans top,
taken
so
off
maybe
the
like
board. And now they get to ban 2
Cassante
more. I mean, you're
Ornn?
really pinching the pool of Honkyu incredibly thin here. I imagine things like Victor, things like Anivia, things like
Cassante
Ahri
Ornn
could very
probably
well
makes
be
the
on
most
board as
sense.
potential bans, and that's looking pretty scary right now.
And good call on the or talk about the Nautilus
maybe
there. and, we'll
I
have
guess
that
people
locked
like handshake
down
the
at
Ambessa
least.
matchup,
And,
right? But
we'll see what JDG want to focus in because I expect all their focus to go to jungle. At least maybe try to whittle down some of the counter for
okay.
top lane as they do take away the Poppy, which is a
Respect
little
on
bit
Shin's
more
name.
of that focus towards some flexible picks.
so then
here.
perhaps they want
But,
Jarvan.
BLG's focus should
BLG
be
themselves
right at range,
actually.
should be that mid lane matchup.
Yeah,
I
mean, it
reckon
makes a lot of
BLG might ban
sense.
Jarvan.
I think banning junglers is necessary when you see something like the Syndra. A very popular combo that's kind of picking up in tempo right now across a lot of regions has been the Nocturne Syndra. I'm not as much of a fan of that in isolation, but it certainly could be something that BLG are looking for here in Game 1 as you're looking at an immobile 80 carry on the other side, and Nocturne always feels pretty good. In that
Is
matchup,
my-
it's going to be the Nefiri ban, so definitely giving some respect over to Jinja here, making sure he doesn't have that carry.
Is my multi
Yeah,
chat tool
I do like the
broken for
jungle
Twitch?
focus. Again, that combination between whatever Junja and Hankyu
It bloody
are going
is.
to be playing for this game number 1 is going to be of utmost importance for JDG to get a crack at BLG. Because the first time we saw this matchup, this split, since it is double round robin, it did not go well for JDG. Let's just say it like that. And it was a pretty tough series for them. So I know they're going to be wanting to kind of get some of that revenge.
Can
get
someone?
that, game score
There's
going up
3
a little
viewers
bit
on
more for
YouTube. Would
themselves.
one of you
As the
please
reason
send a
for
message? Can be
Sun, I
anything. I'm
love
just
that
trying to make sure that
teams are
my
starting to
chat
respect this
in my
play from
OBS
them.
is working.
It's
And then also,
curious
could someone from
because
Twitch say something
I certainly
too?
agree with the Poppy and Lee
Just
Sin
a hello.
bans, but it's a lot of jungle attention. You ban the Nocturne.
Just a hi,
lot
hello.
of jungle attention
I just wanna
leave
make
up
sure
the
that I'm
Jarvan.
not
I imagine
missing
that is going to
messages.
be the pick here for JDG. That would make a lot of sense. I don't really think you can
it's
see
I'm
that
surprised
over
BLG
for
didn't ban
absolutely
Jarvan here.
easy. You get the
Yeah,
hotbot
there's the-
special for free.
For sure, and it pairs really well with the Nautilus as well because
Not
it gives you
allowed.
somebody
Okay,
that can dive
working.
in and
Twitch
kind of
is
set up
working.
a lot of those
Any
plays that
YouTube
Jarvan
chatters,
doesn't
I know
have
you
do it
tend
by
to be
himself.
very, very
Really like
quiet,
this duo.
but I
You're
would
gonna
really
have so
appreciate
much
it.
proactivity in the mid game because your support is actively going to be able to roam. Jhin should be able to survive on his own in the 1v2 on the bottom side. Yes, Ezreal's probably going to get a big gold lead.
Okay, I
but
appreciate that,
for
Bar.
what? We'll see if this Ambessa is locked
Thank
in.
you, Belle.
I think this is the Cassante angle.
Thank
If
you,
they
sir.
really wanted to go for it, this seems like the most obvious pick you could get. You bring the tank player in, you give him the tank, but if they go for Ambessa, certainly would be an interesting call, and that's what it's going to be.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess I was kind of memeing earlier, but
I wonder if they
kind of a carry in some regard for Flandre.
Is Ambessa jungle just
It was
completely dead
interesting,
now
when
since
we
the
were
nerfs?
actually looking at Flandre. He's played obviously Ambessa a good amount, and
I guess it
it's
kind of
all
is.
about his
I mean,
interests.
Serpent's Fang
and the
value
late
is
game
really
teamfighting,
high
and some
here
of
now,
those
by the way.
can look really
By
good
ZV.
and be that kind of engager for the
This
team,
should just be
because
Victor.
that is something they're very much lacking. So they're going to be trying to use that as either primary or secondary engage, and now they're going to have the Zins out with
This
it.
should just be Victor.
Yeah, I really like the
I'd
comp
be
here
surprised
for
if it's a
BLG.
different
I do think
champ.
you kind of have to play this really aggressive
Yeah.
because you don't
Alright.
have that free engage.
Ads are gonna run on
support, and
Twitch
Victor's going to be that final lock-in.
for a
This
minute
is
and a half.
the
You're
most
not going to
played
miss anything.
champion for
Really
Honku
good.
throughout all of this split as
stressed
well.
out.
So just a lot of comfort coming in on both sides, and I think both of them have very clear identities. I mean, JDG have drafted this full engaged team fighting comp. They want to play for 5v5 surrounding Rumble, and Victor with Jarvan and Nautilus trying to frontline. Whereas I think BLG are set up much better for the early game in their ability to
Should have YouTube stream
actually
going on my
generate
phone.
advantages,
Always watch on
mostly
TV. Just
through
type
that
messages on my
Ezreal
phone.
karma.
Yeah, I
When you
mean,
draft an enchanter in
whatever's
this
the most
meta, with the way that
comfortable
things
with
have
it.
gone, you have to get a big lead
Does
in the
make
bot lane.
sense.
Your AD carry has to be a big deal. We were excited about Flandre and Viper coming
Right,
back
let me-
together. Well,
let
both
me
of them are
tweet
going to be
as
key in
well.
this one.
They are indeed, and that combo with the Ezreal Karma can be oppressive, but we'll see how much love the bot lane ends up getting, because that brings all of our attention to the junglers and where they're going to be pathing as well, because both Jarvan and the Xin Zhao can both have a little bit more of an aggressive, maybe invade-centric path as well. So it's going to be a fun one to see how this game one sets out, and I think it's going to set the tone for the series between these two teams. Because again, second meeting between them. Last time you would see this team either side until the playoffs, if that does come to pass. And you definitely want to continue pushing for
Yeah,
JDG.
exactly, man. If it's a big
It would
TV
be
as
a
well, better
fourth
use it.
win in a row for series after they had such a rocky start to this split. And for BLG, it would put them back into first again and keep that one up over Top Esports, at least for the time being. So it's weighing heavy, at least for both teams.
Yeah, and JDG, just in their own right, has struggled to take down BLG all year long. This has been their nightmare matchup. I think they got a very good draft that I honestly kind of prefer here in game number one. We'll see what they can do with it.
How the turntables. Now BLG are the big brothers of JDG. It is game one of our final series, the first day here in week 4.
Whoa.
Look,
Wow.
even the crowd is laughing at how quiet. There was one person.
Dude.
There was one.
Do you know why? It's because the guy leading the
Come
chant
on,
That,
man.
That's
wasn't
rough,
saying
man.
Jing
I
Dong.
don't know what JDG did to deserve that. They're on a 3-series win
the
streak.
Flandre
They
No,
have
the
a
fans
chant
draft
leader
that I really
sucks. No, I'm flaming the chant leader. I don't
guess
care.
It's,
Didn't know he had it
definitely
like
But
that.
BLG.
He
to be honest,
deserves
it's
the
because of
shot
that
in
one guy.
Flandre.
Like, it's so hard to compare to the guy.
You gotta cheer for Flandre.
He's like this big burly dude.
He's gonna have the chance to pop
And whenever
off
he's
here.
doing
This
fan
Ambessa is
events,
have a
I'm
lot
gonna
of
try
room
and
to
imitate him,
operate.
but he's a bit
Curious
of a
to see
legend.
how much attention
He
they
goes,
want to put on
Jing Dong!
oriented threat. So if one of them does
Jing Dong! And it just,
at least
like,
for
you
now,
have
though,
to
pathing
respond.
is going to be towards the bottom side of the map for both of these junglers. So
You hear that
keep an
big
eye
burly
on this
dude
Ezreal
like
pretty early
screaming
on.
Jing Dong like that?
I'm always down to keep an eye on Viper's Ezreal. Probably one of the best to do it on the champion. Obviously, a lot of other well-known players on it, but I've always personally really liked Viper's moves on it. We'll see the level 2 get procced up for both teams, but Vampire just goes for a little supportal combat
There's
trade.
no funky business
As
going on.
a nice little graphic we have popping
You can see
up
how
as,
much faster
it's been a
Jarvan
bit
is
of an
than
embattled
Xin Zhao
split
here.
for JDG. Let's be real. They do
Wonder
have a
if
lot
there's
of
gonna be a
comfort
bit of
for
a tempo
themselves
gap.
here, at least.
People don't talk about this
on
enough.
the other
Jarvan's first
side.
clear is really fast.
Not as many pick times.
Like, look,
for
he can
them,
do
at least
red
on champions, especially for Flandre.
And low-key be at the blue buff on
being
time.
able to be on the
Like,
team first,
unironically.
and Shun as well as Xin Zhao. But both of them are going to be taking the same path, so we are going down towards bot lane, and Junja's doing some sneaky tricks.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what Junjo wants to do here, because if he makes a play happen early on onto this bot side, that could really change the outcome of this game. He is not.
Come on,
He's
you
just
know
gonna go
you
for
want
his
it. They're
recall.
crashing. Come on, come on. You want to go. All right.
Oh, man. Unlucky. Yeah, we were all hoping, I think, for some sort of play there. I think they recognize, yeah, if we lose that play, it's probably game over, like instantly on the spot. We can't afford to give any gold down there, so it is just going to be a crab trade from these two junglers. I think stalling out the early game is more than fine. So we kind of await and see how these lanes are going to break down. But it does bring back into conversation just how important it is for Viper and On to continue having this pressure. I imagine bot side is still going to be the focus, but
nice
he's
control.
wrapping
Look at
around
this.
Knight.
I was talking about Junja with the
Never mind.
sneakiness, but Knight plays down to his jungler. Really nice cover from Shun, but also nice move from Knight to get away from that one. I will say, I'm asking myself if FLANDRE was able to get a grass proc there up in the top side. We'll see if what that's looking like in the long term against the Rumble. But we will see also the next pathings for both these two junglers, because they'll be coming out as redeploy coming from Shun a little bit later than Junja.
Definitely appreciate you pointing out the grasp, because that is certainly an interesting take into Rumble. We will see if that ends up panning out for him. You know, he's got a lot to prove.
Because I saw them trade there. I was like,
yeah.
no way.
There is
grass
no
makes
way.
sense, right? Like,
There's no way he took grasp, right? Well,
what
we'll
else?
see if he can
What
make
else
it
can you
work.
go?
Clearly, he's got some confidence in his ability to skirmish in this lane, so
Electrocute,
we'll see how it
obviously,
ends
I
up
guess.
playing out. Also worth noting that Knight did take the comment here as well, so no Airy for the Syndra. That is typically
it's like,
pretty
then you have
common
Red
in
Tree.
a lot of these matchups. Again, a lot of
It's like
belief
Red Tree
from
just
BLG,
sucks.
and I think they have a lot of reason to believe with how well they've played. This has been one of
I
the
ain't got
best
no
early
qualms with
game
that.
teams in the world, if not the best early game team in the world so far this year. We'll see if they can keep it up here.
Been fun to watch this team throughout this split and this year so far as well. I've also been having a lot of fun with seeing ADCs take exhaust, which I'm very happy to see Viper take that. Keep any threats away from him, which there will be many this game. But so far, pretty calm and easy between the two teams. A slight laning lead for BLG for now, but it'll keep going back and forth between the two. But that also brings us to the next conversation of these objectives. And we were talking in draft that it is a little bit more on BLG to get the ball rolling, to get things
cross
going
proc.
for themselves.
Money.
And maybe some early stacking of the objectives could be the play, as Hongq is the play and gets the
I guess
flash
Knight did
out
have
of there to
claw.
safety. We'll have burned that one, though, and absolutely repeatable on the game.
Yeah, that's a really big deal, because Victor is a huge part of how JDG can defend against some of these early plays. That can't really happen anymore. No flash on Victor makes him incredibly susceptible to any sort of offensive play. JDG still are going to try to control the area here, get some vision down, and potentially
Don't like
pressure
that
this dragon, but I
control
think
in
this
the
is a risky
tri
play
bush.
as Vampire makes his way mid.
Junja has returned to the night well many a time.
Also, how did
already.
Junja reset? Go to
Has not come up with
Krugs,
water,
and now
but
he doesn't
keeps
have
returning the
upgraded
bucket
smite for the
in one
crab.
day, I believe.
He literally
will
reset
find
at
water.
455.
But it's nice to see them
Based,
know where they
bought
want.
Tunneler, and then
We put a
still
lot of
killed
focus on
Krugs too
mid
quick.
lane. I think both teams know that that's where a lot of the centerpiece of this team is for both sides.
Dude.
Pun intended with being mid, but it is more so now how they get off the
Hey,
map,
hey,
because
thank you.
it's all well and good to go visit and to see things, but not being able to purchase off of anything is going to be something that BLG need to think about.
For sure. This should be a free dragon start as well for them because of the pressure that BLG have on the bot side. You know, this is what you get for drafting Ezreal Karma. You're going to get free push. You're going to get free early dragon. Not really a ton of ways to contest this, especially now that Victor has lost Flash. Probably couldn't contest it before that anyways, but makes it even easier now as Vampire is going to continue to get
Tether
chunked
just
out.
barely
What
broke.
JDG need to do to make sure they can
There's
equalize
a red ward
lot
on
of
this, and
is not
Junja
just
didn't hit
countermap,
level
which
6 because
Junja
he's not soaked
is
up
looking
any
to do
XP
with
from
an
anywhere, I
invade
don't
here
think.
onto the red. He will be spotted on a ward, but they also need
Oh, and
to
he
stay
fucking dragged
active
on it.
on the map. Junja gets spotted
Ah,
here.
Knight's just
Perhaps
gonna
they
come
can
over and
collapse
pick it
or
up.
play with Rumble push as well.
Knight's just going to come over and pick it up, by the way.
From both junglers, or at least on the junglers.
Oh, he dragged it into the bush. I don't know if he picked it up. We need. Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine.
Oh.
You know, early in the game, new team comp with Flandre. I feel you. Give all the excuses.
God,
there
now
was
he's
looking
rage
for
doing
a
the-
little bit of cheap.
He's rage doing the
damage
Raptors.
onto Vampire. Didn't find it. There is a bit of a cheap invade that Junja always tries to
Ooh,
find.
huge.
And he's able to get some of the chickens. This is a common occurrence, though.
3 touches Knight on
Funny how
Syndra
the
from
old
JDG.
BLG
Well, to
junglers
be
both
fair,
really like to go for the chickens, but maybe that's a deeper conversation. And it looks like we are
I
going to
think,
have a bit of a stalemate until we start getting some of these team fight setups.
Jarvan
potentially
will-
for JDG,
Jarvan
and
will
that was
make
a
it
strength
tonight.
Of theirs that we highlighted.
I don't think anything positive is going to happen
Absolutely.
after
That's why I
that.
think that smite onto the big raptor was actually really important. Getting that level 6 and making sure that you can start to at least dissuade some other plays around the map if you are the Jarvan, not being incredibly behind in terms of tempo after Knight stops your red buff invade, I think is really good. Really important here. Junja is a huge piece of this team, but player we haven't talked about as much is Vampire. Really have not mentioned Imiton even throughout this split for JDG. He's kind of taken a step back a little bit from maybe what he was in some of the first couple of splits. He's going to need to be big in this game on the Nautilus if they want to continue to keep their pressure up.
Honky getting traded onto there by Knight. Both teams is hovering 3 people mid, as we've seen the entire game so far. And again, rightfully so, because that Prio will lead to the Herald here, or at least the Grubs, not Herald. And you can see both teams really want control over the river, want to try to control for this neutral objective, and that's going to potentially bring down the top lane.
Yeah, the problem is that right now, FLANDRE
Honky no bone
doesn't
plating.
exactly have the most
Happens
amount of combat
occasionally.
power
Ooh.
into the Rumble in terms of
Did he
what
get
he's
the
going to be able to
grab
do. I
stack?
think he's experiencing it.
Did trade draft.
hey,
Oh
we're
god,
getting
here we
one.
go.
Engage
Yeah.
went through. Dredge line went a little bit wide.
Actually
some
still hit
depth
Xiaoshu
charge
here.
there.
Xiaoshu's
They kill
dead.
BLG themselves
river,
going to
though. On's
Xiaoshu
dead.
and take him out with the
First
power.
one actually goes over to
Sun
On.
has been tanking up the
On's kill.
Storm in the fight. It will be On who has already fallen. Vampire might just give his life right back, though, as he sees Knight and FLANDRE there. And that'll be a double kill for Knight.
Just an
you like Jhin into
overextension
Ezreal?
for
I never see him
JDG.
lose
This
or
is a
get
really
carried.
scary spot for them to
In
fight
theory,
in.
it's
The fight
good.
is staggered. It looks okay for them at first because so much pressure is put into Xiaoshu, but
Like,
ultimately
you're
there's way more
supposed to
combat
kinda just
power in
sit
favor of
there,
BLG.
farm,
Xin Zhao
scale,
is
and be a
just way
utility
too
bot,
strong
right?
at this point in the game to try and contest him.
Which I have
Is in
absolutely
the
no
area. See if he's going to try and punish Fillin, or if this is just going to be a 2-for-1 take. Actually going to be a fight, potentially. Oh, the
Oh
interrupt.
my god, he got the
They're just
combo there, and now FLANDRE made
Equalizer.
it over. Equalizer will immediately back them away.
A
The
really
white
good
flag
equalizer.
does
Oh.
come up, and Knight, who moved over
Knight
to
on, bro.
come here,
The
gets
second that On has no
completely
flash, he just
collapsed
dies.
by JDG.
Just a small mistake there by On,
Crying, man.
overstepping and trying to save his jungler from potentially being in a bad spot himself. Shun should be fine here as he's going to walk his way
Should
out
be all
away
right.
from Vampire. But
Dude,
we
poor
are going
On.
to get a bit of a replay here as this is generally a good fight for BLG. We can already see the good priority on the
Oh.
top side. Ult is hit, but now Knight's in danger.
Oh,
Just
my
kidding,
God.
Honky.
Knight just got a solo
lord.
bolo. He might not make it out. Oh my god, he does, because the TP and because of Shun coming over. That is the ultimate Giga
Oh,
Chad
it's a
play
glide.
right there from Knight.
It is a glide.
Okay, small problem in the JDG comp. We're playing for scaling, we're playing for team fights, and we've given Syndra 3 kills. That's not great. That doesn't feel so good going into the later part of the game. This is a phenomenal spot for BLG. FLANDRE's gonna get even more gold here in the mid lane. That 1.5k gold lead is very real. Viper's been doing his job. Dragon is up in 1 minute, and they're gonna have full control over this river because of their respawn timers as well. This is a nightmare for JDG right now.
It's a really tough position to be in, but I do still give them the fact
Is
that
Vampire-
they can hold on. And
I thought
potentially
that
get
red
to a
buff was
place
gonna
of
aggro onto
promise,
Jarvan, I
especially
swear to
they've
God.
got first items coming up as well as BLG, but you know, they got the Sundered Sky and Zoomjay's gonna feel a little bit more sustainable there as well. You got the torch coming through for Honky, that's gonna feel pretty good. And I think there are some power spikes that you can feed off of to get you later into the game, but can't be having moments like this, K-Man.
I mean, this is just a misplay from Hongq. He steps up without the proper amount of mana. Knight
And
sees
his
his
flash
angle
is up, by
despite
the way.
both the Jarvan and the Nautilus being there. I think the crazy part is that he gets out, that this teleport actually
Bro.
does save him. They overextend there. They do kill themselves.
Hongq
They
has
lose even more on that play.
flash.
So Knight just burning flash to pick up a solo kill. They're going to be very, very happy with that.
And we get round
Hey,
1.5, I guess, is what I'll call it for this next dragon. As both teams are fully set up around it, and we just want fisticuffs. We want fights.
Shun.
But that feeds into the BLG machine. Present guard did go through, and Shun's trying to heal up as much
Okay.
as he can
Shun's
from the
dead.
Sundered Sky. He actually
Jarvan's dead.
survived for a long time there, and Knight's
Oh,
about to
great
pick up
exhaust from
another
On.
double kill here
Okay,
for
bullet connects
himself. It will be
Honky's
a
gonna
kill
die.
back,
I mean,
but
it's
a
a
fourth
3
shot
for
not
2.
going to be there to save him. As
Both
that's
junglers are dead, so we're
Knight
just gonna go
and
again.
Viper combining for more, and you look at the scoreboard, and there is a terrifying sight there, K-Man.
I'm surprised.
Well,
I mean,
Knight didn't
I'm surprised
exactly
Syndra
have the
doesn't
best
have a
week
dark
of his
seal.
entire career last week. I think he wanted some revenge in this one. He's definitely stepping back up. He's level 11 to Hongq's level 9 right
bro,
now.
like,
Just an
Syndra-
absolute demolition in that fight.
Knight
We're gonna get
Syndra,
a replay. Shun just
plus
realizing,
1.
hey, you
Knight
can't be
also
here. You can't
one of
fight
the
over
worst
these neutrals in the
the
way
weeks
that
of games
you
I think I've
you
seen
can.
Knight
On
have
is chunked
in
out
like
pretty
3 or
early,
4
but
years
Vampire's
almost.
not nearly tanky enough at this point. They do a good job to capitalize on the Xin Zhao, which is important to make sure they can't immediately
And now
go
we're
and take
doing
the
this.
objective after. But if Viper and Knight are in the area, they're just going to have more damage than whatever you can put out at this point in the game. Ezreal is at his absolute strongest, and Knight obviously is very accelerated. The gym trying to equalize things, but ultimately, now we're in a spot where they get Dragon for free on the respawn, and they get even more kills onto their carry, and Honky's dead again!
Yeah, more kills onto the carry. Knight, the
Yo,
carry
you're never going to
at
believe what
6-0
Syndra went back and
as
purchased,
Honky
guys. Don't look at the
is just
inventory. It's a dark seal.
egregiously overstepped there, unfortunately, and
Don't
pays
look.
the ultimate price for it. And the avalanche is coming, K-Man. We haven't even taken the last grub. It's still sitting over there. Viper, he's in some trouble now. He should have the arcane shift over the wall there. Still also does have flash, so he is fine and dandy. And that whole time, BLG was just taking away the jungle of Zunja.
And that's the thing with Ezreal Karma that just makes it so difficult to play into is not only are they so scary
This
as a
game is
duo,
over.
but if the Karma wants to roam, Ezreal's
I'm gonna be
just the
honest, I
best
think this
weak
game
side
is
AD
done.
carry in the game. And so you kind of get the best of both worlds, being both strong side and weak side this game.
Like,
We'll see how much
unless
attention they want to
Knight
put into it.
mega
Herald has
griefs.
spawned on the top
Knight
side. That
like,
is the
I
next
cannot
major neutral
stress
that
just
both of
how
these
much
teams are
grief
gonna be
Knight has
fighting
to do.
for. But with that 3k gold lead, 2,000 of it being in the mid lane on Syndra, just feels nearly impossible for JDG to be able to walk up if Syndra is there. They have some okay vision control, but man, this is looking tough for them.
I'm
Oh,
going to stir the pot,
Hope you
K-Man.
can get
I'm
one
gonna
shot
stir the
easily
pot
here.
'cause I like stirring the pot, all right? I got the ladle.
Okay.
Is this what happens when you don't have to put resources top lane? Is that
Ooh.
you know, when you can put 3 people mid?
Oh, Mazel, don't say that.
Nah, just you know, talking a little trash on behalf of mid, but nah. It is interesting to see.
It is a
how
valuable
much
conversation though.
so
You know,
willing
like
to camp out that
I said it on
mid lane,
Power Spike
try to
too.
find something.
If you have a top laner that genuinely just will crack all
Yeah,
night,
it's
night,
definitely
night,
working
night.
out for them. I think Jinja
No
looking
flash.
to try and make a play.
They're gonna get a
He's
big
gonna die,
shutdown
but he's
here.
gonna one for
Oh.
Another kill
I mean,
before
1k
he
for
dies,
Victor's
though.
good, bro.
True Drop Barrage came across the
1k for
bow
Victor is
on, and
really
Shun
good.
Trying to combine to get Junja down. Viper
Oh,
goes for
what a
the
snipe.
mystic shot, and this is why I
My
said
God,
I like
and he hit the
watching
follow-up
his
Q on Vampire,
Ezreal.
by the
He
way.
finds a nice little pop shot,
Between
and
the
now he's
minions.
keeping Vampire
Vampire's
under
dead.
bay. He goes with the early
Oh,
arcane
no.
Still
shift
dead.
to get the distance. This is a masterclass. Ezreal already coming out for Viper.
Look, I
Lordy
get the
lord.
idea of the play. You try to get the shutdown gold, even if you lose.
This
2 for
Ezreal
1
champ
in
is
that
way too
exchange,
strong.
You theoretically are getting more gold onto the carries that kind of need it. The problem is 3 for 1 is not worth it, and also Viper's gonna get this entire tower, and he got a free double kill there. This is
Jesus.
just worst case scenario. Also, a small correction on my end. I talked about Herald having spawned. They never took grubs, so that was what was
Yeah.
on the map. You know,
It was the
it's
one
still a
very lonely grubby tubby.
just hanging out, just chilling. You know, he's probably happy to
Look, Vampire
not
defensive
have to
flash,
worry
then
too
he
much
died.
about being taken down. Unfortunately,
This-
Art of War
I
by
can't say
Tabe.
JDG feel the same on this engage.
Disgusting.
Knight just
Dude, though,
just
1,000
obliterates Honky.
1,000 gold
I mean,
to Victor,
if you're
that
gonna
feels
pick
good.
something like Victor, you have to be so careful about making sure you're positioning properly, and Honky has just been out of position here.
Oh.
Viper, he turned around too.
Yeah,
Walk away from the
dude.
explosion, man.
Oh my god! And then this. Oh, they're not gonna show it. The preemptive arcane shift to get onto the actual finishing point of the dredge line was super awesome. Just
Okay,
see the TP
but-
coming bot. They
Yeah, I
wanna
mean, he
punish
can-
Knight,
he can
but
do
then
this.
he's gonna TP out. The reverso technique comes through from the legend himself.
Well,
There's just nothing that they can get on the map right now. Every play that they've gone for has not worked. Dylan is soloing.
What's sad is that
Herald
was
as they
actually a
make that
really
play
smart
onto the
JD.
bottom side,
That was a
sending
really
both
smart
of their
TP from
solo
JDG.
winners. They only have 1 plate.
they know
on
they're
this
dropping
bot lane
Herald. They
tower.
know that's where
It's
most
just
of the
been a
numbers are. It's
complete
actually a bad
disaster
lane assignment from
for
BLG, if anything,
JDG.
to have Knight
They're
down
down
there.
almost 4,000 gold here at 16 minutes. With Herald taken by JDG, that's only going to get worse. Both of these primary carries now have massive gold leads. Viper very quietly has just been, farming up in these side lanes. He's gotten so many plates, multiple towers. He's up 1.5k gold. He's on 2 items. This Ezreal is going to be nearly unstoppable. We keep talking about Knight. Viper is an incredible carry in his own right now.
And it only gets better for the Ezreal.
You know what the pick was instead of
As,
Victor?
he's
He will
gonna be
Sion
close
into
and
Syndra.
close to his evolution of his item, and that's going to feel even better.
don't hate
Knight
it.
is on 2 items. You have Viper on 2
Unironically, I
items.
don't hate it, man.
And we have about less than a minute for another dragon. It'll be a soul point for BLG. JDG starting to get the odds stacked up against them here in game number 1, though. About 3.7k lead for BLG.
Yeah, I've definitely
too.
been seeing more pros TP away like this too.
Yeah, I mean, they do
been,
theoretically have
interesting
more
to see.
upside in some of these 5v5s, especially in small, close
Okay.
quarters, because the Victor ult on top of the Rumble ultimate can be a
Dragon,
big problem.
30 seconds.
Jhin should be able to be more effective. The
JDG, if
more,
they can somehow
narrow the
snag
fight
it, it
ends
would
up
be
becoming.
nice.
So
But
theoretically,
any
there are
fight
some
they
ways
take
for
is just
JDG
going to be a
get
heavy
back
loss.
into this one, but it's going to take a miracle engage because the gold lead right now on Syndra and Ezreal is terrifying.
Knight and Viper
You gotta
both
keep
have
an eye
sums
on
again.
Honky. He cannot die first here.
Okay.
They're a bit overextended here.
Good Mikhail's
they don't
by
really have the powerhouses.
Do they have the
pop the
no.
pressing guard, and here comes the powerhouse.
Okay.
One hit from the left hand, and
Oh,
maybe how about a
Viper
second
has
one from
just
the
flash
right.
exhausted Honky.
Viper goes ahead and
Okay.
takes him down, and that's your 2-fer. They might even go for a 3-fer, give somebody else a little bit
Well.
of a chance. Knight's going to take that kill anyways.
There you go.
You can't catch out BLG.
Game 1 over.
Like, it's just this comp is not going to be
Jin
caught
Israel again?
unaware.
Yeah, man.
I understand JDG at some point being like, we have to pull the trigger. I think these small 3v3 skirmishes in the jungle are not what they
I
should
don't know.
be
I
looking
actually think
for.
I'm not.
They
I'm not.
continue to kind of
I'm
be
not flaming you when I
misusing
say
their
this, but I actually
composition,
think
and BLG
League,
are happy
like
to take advantage of it. Is Herald gonna get a charge
esports
onto the
watchers
bot
will just
side?
never
He's
be
probably going to pick
never
up
be
this tier
content.
2 in the bot
There's
lane,
there's
and
always
you get
something
the
to
dragon
complain
off of
about
this.
with the meta.
I don't know how much more BLG can even get. Teleport coming in,
Like
but
genuinely,
is it
there's
gonna
like I
work
don't think
out in their
anyone.
end?
I don't think there'll ever be a time where everyone is
Yeah,
happy with the
yeah,
meta.
this
Okay,
one.
decent flash.
Ooh, good flash.
Does not have a shutdown.
Rocket Belt's up.
Which is pretty massive because they're just killing him for
Okay,
normal
well, he
gold,
just
and then they don't
actually
even
walks out
kill
and
him
lives. Incredible.
as he still walks away from the burning man, and that Shun engage is going to be a little bit tough as Doom
Okay.
goes right back in with the Cataclysm combo.
Oh.
Scout of the week does go.
Honk, you
get
can kill him with a
wide.
laser.
Meanwhile, Viper is just trying
why
to
did he
kill
back up?
Vampire, which is hilarious.
No,
Knight goes
man.
the alcove play.
Oh, you could have killed him with a
Get
laser.
little bit
Oh,
of
you
help
freak.
Flandre to get out.
Why are you
And
slow
now
playing
Flandre
Flandre?
gets a little bit more.
Knight's the guy. Does Knight have the shutdown still? Did he regain the shutdown? He must have.
So Knight, JDG can't handle
Well, it's
him
not big,
for
but
now,
I guess
they do
Flandre
get a
technically
bit
has the
of
bigger
a
one, but he's got
response.
flash.
Still, the gold lead
Ay,
is
ay,
more than
ay.
the 2 times what it was just a few
Honk, you just have to
moments
queue a
ago. They'll
minion
get
and just
little bit
keep
back here
walking
on the
towards
bottom.
Knight, bro.
I mean, it is good to get gold.
Maybe he was
and
scared of
anywhere
getting
on the map right
scattered
now
again.
is a good spot. You have the best ridiculous amount of resources in order to get it. We get a replay of this fight. Once again, I understand the idea of being like, oh wow, Shun and On are overextended. Look at how close Knight and Viper are.
What am I listening to right now?
It's really easy
Oh,
for
is
them
the
to
audio
have
doing the thing?
moments
Sorry, I'll
of
fix it. I'll
advantage.
fix it.
It's just completely unplayable.
exhaust.
The exhaust is completely superfluous.
Yeah, sorry guys.
Austin is
I don't know-
victory
I don't
know
is
how- I've gotta
100%
fix
dead.
it.
It's just to BM him, but you know they are going to pick up at least some gold off.
I
the
think
back
what I
of that
need
play, and
to
now Schilling
do if I'm
be a target here again.
Yeah, will he be able to get the crescent guard off? He does. This is
when I'm in
happened,
game,
what,
I might have to
3
use
times
just
in a
the
row now,
whole
but now
audio
they've got
capture.
double flank
Knight's
coming
dead again.
through. They take
Was that-
down
that
Knight
time we
in
went to
his
Rumble.
little
This is a
shutdown,
decent pick.
and they'll end up taking Shun down too.
If they had any other AD carry, I'd
Viper's
maybe say
left
go hit the
alone
Nash.
on his side of the map, but it still fights back from JDG.
Okay, this is starting.
Yeah, if
to
the audio
become
starts
a
to
little
break,
bit more
guys, please
possible.
just let me
On
know.
is overextended
Don't sit
now.
there and
With
suffer.
Viper, we'll see if he can make his escape down to the bot side.
BLG are losing their
It
minds
seems
a
to be an
little
issue
bit.
with beta audio capture and this version of OBS Final.
Alan's just dead. He's going to
Yeah, he's
sacrifice
dead.
his life here.
Oh, on.
He burns the flash. Okay, gets the equalizer out. It's trades for trades, I guess. And that will be On, who just gets burned alive by Xiaoxu.
Okay, well they've cut the gold lead pretty considerably in the last couple of minutes. A couple of nice fights for JDG. They're going to need at least 2 more of those, I think, to get themselves back into this game. The good thing is objectives are starting to become possible for them to take. I think the gold lead was really the big limiting factor because their comp is actually pretty solid in the back end of this game. Still a pretty big deficit for them to overcome, but even being close to neutral in terms of gold is going to make this Rumble and this Jarvan and even the Victor a lot more scary. Hongq has had his negative moments, but he does have 4 kills at this point, which is going to make him a bit of a damage threat.
I mean, we've seen BLG lose a 7,000 gold lead before, and it wasn't even that long ago. It might still be fresh in their minds, but it is something we've
Yeah,
highlighted
the next
from
time it does it, what I'll do
JDG's
is I'll just do a whole
composition
audio
is
capture
ridiculously strong as all 5
and see if
together
that fixes
in
the
later
issue.
parts of the team fights. And they're starting to combine some of those pieces, right? Like you're starting to see some of that damage come through for Hongq. It'll be a little bit for Gala. He's obviously going for his
This
third
guy's
item.
dead, I
It's gonna be
think.
huge, but
Oh, Purr
you
Pleasant.
just have to be able
Oh,
to
Ezra,
hold
no.
on. And Vampire barely holds on himself.
I guess you just kind of have to deal with that. If you're the Nautilus throughout the rest of the game, he's going to be zoned off here. BLG are looking for a fight.
Yep, they know they can do this.
They're going to extend
Good
pretty
night.
far for this one, but they do get Hongq. He goes with the audacious charge and he'll
Okay,
finish
hold.
that one off. Doom goes
They
in
killed
with
On
Cataclysm,
again.
just gets shot in the back by
Viper and Knight are a little bit low.
And now here
Xiaoxu
comes Flandre,
is
the newest addition to the
dead.
team, trying to make something happen. He's had a pretty quiet game so far.
Oh my
Shun's
God.
just going to 1v1 the Jin. No, 4th shot comes through, takes him down. Gala gets another one.
least they were able to pick up the Xin Zhao eventually, but the healing on that champion was utterly
49
ridiculous
seconds
in
till
that
Hex
fight.
Soul.
Really good trigger pull from BLG. They capitalized on the
I
fact
don't know.
that Knight chunked out Vampire
BLG are
right
just having
before
fun
that
at this point.
exchange, so it's really an extended like 4v3. In a lot of instances, just a good showcase.
Jack,
Once
thanks so
again,
much for the
it's
Prime sub, by
HongQ
the way, bro.
overextended
Appreciate
in this
the
instance.
generosity.
He separates from his own jungler, and at this point, Shun's like, yeah, I'll take the free victor. Junja can jump back over the wall, but it's a really nice pseudo insect ultimate from Shun on that Xin Zhao, and Vampire has no health as this fight starts. Yes, Junja can pick up a kill alongside Gala onto on the back end, but how much is that even worth? The only reason you get another kill is because Shun overextended to trade his life in this exchange, and even then, Gala still has to flash, and he almost gets out here. Look at the healing on Xin Zhao with this red buff. It's actually just absurd what this champion can do.
Bro, I love Sundered Sky when you're actually like 1 HP.
BLG
It's
did
so
kind
funny.
of overextend there. It doesn't really matter as Dragon spawns, and they're still
Thank
in
God
a
that
great
item
spot
is
to try and
dead.
take this.
Again, it is soul now for BLG. They have done the due diligence to get
FLANDRE
to
early
this
flash,
point,
respect.
and JDG have
Ooh,
to answer
Shun.
the question. Shun goes for a flank here
Guys,
with
help.
the Hex Gates. He
Guys,
does
help.
the Crescent Guard, so he's going to buy a lot of time. Gala dodging out of the public
Oh my God,
execution.
they're kinda
Farmer
griefing.
not able to lever that one in.
They're
He's
kind
either
of
gonna try to
griefing.
get in onto Viper next, but Viper does Arcane Shift away. The Arcane Storm will be used.
Oh, Junja's
and I
gonna go
think
through the wall.
JDG
No,
might have
okay.
a chance to move into this dragon.
Yeah, we'll see. Viper
Viper's
and Knight.
hunting.
Aye,
HongQ, that
aye,
is
aye,
just
aye, aye.
greedy, my man. Viper
No, it's not even
finds
that
him out,
greedy, they just
didn't
don't know
know
the
the
ward's
ward was there. And a beautiful
That's so
resetting of the moment from BLG and Viper, who now
Should
is
do probably just based on the control ward though, right next to it. Yeah.
I mean, they're buying time. They're going to try and take this fight 2v4. This is very difficult. Knight's on the backline just killing Rumble. They have the smite. JDG is the only jungler alive.
And Knight has his
Respect.
power unleashed up again, though on just instantaneously.
we're on the wrong
guys.
side of the
That
map.
will be the depth charge used on a Viper. Dragon does.
Are we just
end
gonna
up
handshake
going
and let them
JDG,
go?
So they buy themselves 5
Good
minutes. Amen.
Oh.
Knight still looking. BLG are just playing reckless here.
JDG
I have
just
no
wanna make it home.
clue what the idea was. I think they were trying to buy time for Xin Zhao to respawn, but your frontliner was a Karma, so of course she's going to get blown up in a lot of those instances. A crazy engage from Shun. Hope we get a replay of that, because that was a diabolical decision for him to go in on the backline at the start of that fight. Either way, JDG take advantage of it. Once again, the gold lead is cut to a very manageable 3,500. It still is very notable, and that kill onto HongQ is not ideal. But look at the differences in a lot of these players. It's only 600, 700 across a lot of these positions. JDG's teamfight comp is still going to be dangerous. BLG cannot continue to make these mistakes, especially with Baron on the map.
And you can see some of the chunks in that gold lead coming back towards JDG. The fact that they have gotten themselves.
No, that wasn't a
to
low-key
these
sprint,
three
though. That was a
items,
high
now
key.
working on 4th item spikes, especially for Gala.
Also,
It's gonna feel
DKKT, did that go to
really,
3 games,
really
chat?
nice for
Or was
them.
that
So, trying to put those pieces together, still
that
an
a 2-game
execution bar that
series?
needs to be reached. There are
I think last I saw
terrifying
DK were up
pieces
on game, but
for
KT in game
BLG.
2.
Knight is about to hit
Okay,
his passive
KT
as well.
suck ass.
That's going to feel really nice there for
Thank you for the
Syndra.
update.
And you're going to have the GA eventually completed for Shun. So all these crazy plays
Aye, aye, aye.
will have a little bit more sustain to them.
That's the thing about it, though, right now, is that you have a major objective on the map, and that GA is not completed. Shun has yet to hit that gigantic power spike that he's going to be able to get to eventually. Just should be able to take advantage of that, at least in the current
BLG
time.
needs to
The
lock
big
in.
thing that you got to keep an eye out for.
Yeah,
one player that's
they're in throw
consistently been top
territory
for
right now.
JDG has been HongQ throughout this entire game. They need him to step
Like,
up
for
in these
all of the
team
kills
fights.
Knight has,
This
he's
team
only
fight
up a
does
needlessly
not
large
work
rock
out
now
if that victor
on
is getting
HongQ.
caught, but Knight, see if he oversteps on the top side, is going to respect the fact that there could be a jungler here. It's BLG who might be on the collapse.
God, the amount of times JDG have tried to find a play in the night, and his spidey senses just come tingling, and he's able to get out of there.
Oh
As
my
the
God.
Flourish does connect on the back end. Oh, they really wanted. Oh my God, Honest just dodging everything, and it's Vampire that takes the brute force of BLG to the dome. That's JDG that have to immediately back away, and BLG are feeling it now. They're gonna go in with the engage, Crescent Guard blocking
Oh,
any kind of
hell
that
no.
JDG are trying to bring, and Shun is still tanking. He's trying to get some Sunder Sky procs here. He will die in the end, but all the carries are falling, and Viper wants
and
more.
Viper's gonna get
Viper
Gala. I
wants
think
to take down
he's
Gala.
2,
He's looking for an
1
angle now over
now.
onto Xiaosu. He is playing like a bat out of hell on this Ezreal, and I'm here for it.
Just a dominant showcase for BLG.
It's just
on
hell.
sidesteps basically every ability, burns flash just because he can in the team fight, and now BLG are going to be on this Baron. That is the exact kind of fight that they needed in order to fully take control of this game once more. They thought they found another pick onto the Karma, and all that they found was a potential
Equalizer
loss
isn't up,
as
though.
Valkyrie's going to make his way in, but
Vampire
there is
has
no way
depth
that they're gonna be
charge.
able to
Remember,
contest
there's
this
no
easily.
smite here, by the way. Okay, it's dead now.
Two trying to get in, doesn't have the equalizer. That's the Baron taken by BLG. They might
On
give
doesn't have
on
flash.
life for it. He will fall.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, On gives his life this time.
Sure.
Maybe the flash would have been nice to have in this exchange, but they're going to be perfectly fine with that trade. And Bessa, Syndra, Ezreal, the three most important carries all have that Baron buff. Once again, we're going to see how this goes. He gets hit by the Jin W at this point. Ends up cleansing out of it, walks away, dodges basically every single ability, whether it be the Jin shots, whether it be the Victor
Oh,
laser.
whoa, 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 whoa.
That's a
Play
lie.
going on mid. FLANDRE taking
Whoa,
down
whoa,
the
whoa,
turret.
whoa.
So
Honky's
much
got another
fight for
1,000 gold.
Viper's first death
Hey,
of
hey,
the
hey.
game.
He's gonna
And
kill
now
Shun
there's
too.
another pick
That's
in
GA.
The GA we were
Hey!
just talking about. The thing we
Knight,
were
take me to
hyping up,
take me
it's
to heaven.
gone now, and Shun is trying to survive, but he's just gonna get taken down by a big shot from
Hey!
Hala. Knight TP's in on the backside of the play and doesn't find the impact he was looking for.
Gigantic play from JDG. That is the biggest play of
And we
the
didn't
game
see how it
up
happened
until
because
this
we were in a
point. The
replay.
gold lead
That's
has
really annoying.
completely evaporated. You've lost Baron buff on
Also,
both the
chat, do you know what I
Bessa
learned
and
today,
the Ezreal. It's
which is
only
really
on
sad
Knight
and a
at
bit
this
annoying?
point. JDG are very
did
much
this
back into this.
happen?
I gotta see how this starts. Viper just
Viper
fucking shifts forward
Oh.
right onto the equalizer, and they're just overextended. It's beautiful from JDG, but it's a massive mistake from Viper. Why is he there? The former EDG bros just chilling out, trying to defend this tower for no reason. They get
Yeah,
taken
not the
down.
best arcane
Not
shift.
nearly
I mean,
enough
it's
damage
one of
to be
those
able to
things
turn
where,
this around,
like,
and then
he's
Shun
arcane shifting
tries to get
underneath his
onto
tower.
on the
How
back
much can
end
you...
and pays for it with his life, his guardian angel.
Like, it's just a very
massive
aggressive
mistake
look
from
for
BLG that could be game throw.
Not too much, bro.
And let's be real, Viper needed to be punished because he's been doing that all game.
But yeah,
Just
I tried to
arcing
get,
it randomly into a
and it makes sense,
composition that has
obviously. I was trying to get
multi-parts
some
engaged.
LPL VODs.
He immediately
It's,
got punished, and
in-game
now we have another
replay.
carousel turning. It's another attempt at the soul for BLG.
And it turns out
They have started
the
out
League of
this
Legends
dragon.
Chinese TR
They
client
have to get this though. They can't give
is
soul.
permanently on a different
Try
patch.
to
Are they going to
this
get
fight
Drake?
going. Arcane
Okay,
Storm coming
BLG
through.
get it. That's
Dragon
Hextol. I mean, the
secured.
game should
BLG
just be
get
over now.
Hextol, and now it's raining damage
Surely.
into this grouped
Oh my god,
comp.
Flandre.
Flandre.
Oh
See,
my
the
god.
lightning bolts are continuing. It's
Holy.
gonna be 2 kills, 3 kills going over. He will look for a 4th one, and he will get it. A
No,
quadra kill.
16 kill
for the
Syndra game.
golden left hand of BLG.
16 kill Syndra
No
game.
Baron buff, no problem for Billy Gaming. They get the soul, they destroy the fight off the back of Knight and Flandre playing out of their minds in the 5v5, and they're going to march their way down the base, and they're going to take game number
Bro, he
1
just dropped an
despite the
EMP on them.
craziness that we got. I believe they're going to be able to end here.
He just dropped an MW2 EMP on them, bro. Do you know how crazy that is?
8-1 and 8, not too shabby for the combo of carries. And
Bloody
I am
hell.
going to have a long conversation with you after this about what Flandre's feeling if he just rode this Bronco for the first time, because that's a hell of a game to come into this
Well,
T1
Flandre 100%.
to do almost nothing.
BLG win
and to
rate, I
watch
agree.
your carries do what they just did. Insane stuff from BLG.
Oh, sorry. I full screen Discord, so it, like,
It's
broke the screen.
exactly perfect for Flandre because he came in and he got both the highs and the lows in that game. He got the highs of watching Knight pick up a quadra kill and absolutely decimate JDG on his Syndra, and he also got the lows of, you know, Viper just randomly being in the mid lane, Shun just taking every single fight he can possibly think of, on going for a flank angle on the Karma, all of the good and the bad that BLG generally offers as a team. But he stepped up huge in that final team fight. That Mbessa was massive in destroying JDG after they got that soul. He certainly held his weight despite the laning phase maybe not going his way.
Viper's like, I feel like I'm back in 2020, 21 again. It's crazy. Oh, whoa. That's what I imagine is happening in Viper's head. I don't think that's what's really happening. But anyways,
Okay,
just want to
we're gonna mute this. Oh wait, is it?
16 kill game.
Yeah, okay. Sorry, I thought if he was gonna shout out the LPL English sponsors, I was gonna let him do that. Let's just get some music going and chill. Was there anything else in the patch notes? Let's see. Systems. ADC magic resistance. Okay, so basically every ADC in the pool is getting 3 extra MR. Though I think when you run the math, they technically end up with the same magic resist at the end of the game. I can't bother to do the maths. I'm sure someone's already done it and has either said it's more or less, but at face value, I think it is slightly more, if my maths is to be believed. Tristana getting 5 extra MR because she had to have historically lower because she also would go mid. It's quite funny, and now she has 33 like the rest. So curious to see if this actually means that we'll get a little bit of entertainment out of mid lane Tristana. But I'm not sure. Jungle Pet, speaking of more diverse jungle meta, we're adjusting the way jungle pets scale to help mage and tank junglers against the current AD fire meta. Damage per attack. 20 to 150 is now still 20 to 150 based on level. Bonus attack damage, the same. Ability power scaling up by 4%. 20% bonus armor up by 5%, up by 5%, bonus health up by 1%. We need to start looking at rumor tweets and cheap esports articles in between games, by the way. And why would we do that? What do you think about the Hall of Legends stuff? Yeah, you know what? Sure, let's talk about that actually. I think they lost all credibility of this actually being a legitimate, like, Hall of Fame type thing. Now, like, it is now obvious that this Hall of Fame thing 100% is just to sell skins and nothing else. I'm sorry, I love Caps as much as the next guy, But there's two things. First off, right, you just, like, this should be retired players only. That's just a fact of the matter. It should be retired players only. It shouldn't be players who are still active right now. And I understand, like, if you go and look up a list of, like, 10 of the best players ever, right? Almost the entire list is probably still playing. Because most of the old season players are still are retired and not inside that, like, priority of who I would imagine gets Hall of Fame, right? So, like, you know what? Let's just do a thought. I'm going to look it up right now. Top 10 best League of Legends players of all time. I'll open the top 2 links I got, okay? Top 2 links. Faker, Deft, Ruler, Canyon, Uzi, Rookie, Viper, Mako, Xiaohu, Bin. I'm not going to judge this person's list, but what I am going to say is that Faker, Deft, Ruler, Canyon, Rookie, Viper, Mako, Xiaohu, and Bin are still all active players. And I'm actually just kind of curious. No matter unless this is a big crime, like, there's always going to be people that want other people, like, in, right? But all of these players, point being, all of these players, with the exception of Uzi, are still active players, right? So the fact that Uzi actually got Hall of Fame second, I think, then makes sense. 20 of the best players. Imp, Scout, Prey, Mako, Smeb, Score, Perks, Bengi, Gorilla. If Perks is up there, Caps has to be quite high. Ming, Xiaohu, The Shy, Doinby, Canyon, Showmaker, Uzi, Deft, Mata, Rookie, Fit. Nigga, where the fuck is Caps? Hey. Okay. Okay. All right. But yeah, like, most of these players on this list actually are retired behind a certain point. Like, I don't know. Let's just give Matter a Thresh skin. You know? Or a Janna skin. It's kind of known for both. Uzi obviously retired. Doinby is like soft retired. It's weird, right? Doinby's like soft retired. Like, he'll pick up the pen, but he's not really about it like that no more. Ming, I think, is a hard sell. Gorilla is... I don't know how popular Gorilla still is or isn't in Korea, to be completely honest. Bengi, I think, is a big time whatever. Perks. Sure, right? But, like, my thing is just that, like, you've now also picked another mid laner in year 3. This list is 5 years old, by the way. Is it? I didn't even check. Oh, you're right. It is 5 years old. Fuck, you know. But yeah, you guys still understand the point, right? I mean, this other list was 2 years old. But you guys still understand the point. Like, quite a large chunk of the good players to right now are, what do you call it? Are still playing. So I think it is a bit difficult to sell. Oh, you know what? I didn't run ads at the end of the game. I need to run... I'm going to run the chunk to get rid of the next ad break. And I'm also going to use this opportunity to go to the bathroom. So I will be back momentarily. If you're on YouTube, you will just be sitting in silence. I'm sorry. Hello, everybody.
But get him an even better
Did I
matchup
not
here
play
in the
music when I
1v1
left?
just to let him survive. If
Oh,
you can just get
I
to
put
the
my
mid-game,
earphones in
that was clearly their biggest issue in game number 1.
when the song had just ended.
Yeah, and something they can't really have happen against this BLG team because we've seen them take down almost every team like that through their first round robin. But it's starting to get down to serious business, and I know we'll talk about it a little bit more as well. But like JDG on a bit of a win streak here. It's 3 wins in a row for them when they had been so up and down throughout the earlier parts of this split. And you want to continue that momentum. You feel like you're finally gaining some traction. And maybe that traction leads to being able to fight against this BLG team. But we've got to know now, or we're not going to know for this regular season, as this is the final time we will see these two teams face off before playoffs. Now, BLG are going to be back on that blue side. So we'll see if that changes anything here, as at least they're able to find something from a different angle for JDG being on that red side, and see if they can find some different focuses, at least in the bans, as we do see the Poppy still there, the Camille ban this time around, the Vi ban as well, and the Orianna again.
Notably, though, look at all the mid laners
Here
that are
we
left up on the
go.
table that were not left up from draft to number 1. Basically,
Rise,
everything was taken off the
Cassio,
board by
both
BLG going up against JDG. 5 mid lane bans in the first rotation.
Let's see
to have that
what they give
flexibility
home
now
to.
going into a game number 2. That means things like Rise,
I think
Akali,
Cassio is probably
they're
the
gonna be on
highest
table.
priority.
Is now on the table as well, and both of these mid laners are very happy to play some of these more volatile matchups. I'm curious if JDG wants to opt into those, or maybe if they want to go for more stable things. Olaf as the final takeaway. That champion has just skyrocketed in terms of popularity. Cassio definitely a high priority mid laner left, and if you think Rise is potentially the best mid on the board, Cassio should be very good in that
Syndra
matchup
out,
if you want
that
to
makes the most sense. BLG are just going to go Lucian, probably Milio, but could get a Nami.
Comes through, and it could just be the Lucian.
I still think there's space for Nami every now and again, but I think Milio is just a better pairing. I'm so glad that my take on this aged so well. I don't know if you guys remember, anyone who's like here early in the year, but when Lucian Nami was
I'm seeing Lucian
really
Milio
mad,
on the
I
other
thought
side.
that
I saw
Milio
what,
was actually
Viper
better.
and Ron were able to do in game number 1. The thing is that Vampire was basically put in a position where it's like, okay, you are the roamer in game number 1, playing Nautilus into Karma, could not get plays going around the map. The Karma was more active than the Nautilus in terms of the roams, and if you feel comfortable that On is just going to be better in that respect, pick the Lucian Milio, win lane, and be more useful. Again, this is the best 2v2 in the game. You really have to pick something that can just stay safe on the other side. Maybe it's just going to be a lovers duo here. That should give Vampire
really
yet
hate
another playmaker
the
to play
Xayah
alongside. But once again, he has to actually activate, which he wasn't able to do in game.
I think people have been doing this more and more regularly lately.
Man, that's it's
And I
gonna
just-
be curious now.
I
Lovers duo.
I don't think it works. Oh my god, that was an insta-slam Akali. Oh my god.
What are
I don't think
BLG
Knight-
like? They're trying to send us home early.
I don't think Knight.
Everybody.
I don't think
knows
Knight has
the
respect for these
split
guys.
Of Knight on Akali. There's a reason why JDG banned it in the first game, and or I guess it was BLG that banned it in the first game to be able to keep it for the second game themselves. And right now it's just full frontal aggression for BLG.
Let's see. This
I
is
don't want to overreact. I don't want to be too superfluous. I'm looking at the first phase of the draft here. BLG have won draft. Like, it's just, they're already in
kind of
such a
insane.
commanding position coming out of these 3 picks.
This
Not just
position-
because Knight is on Akali. That's obviously massive.
They have winning
He's
bot.
like nearly unbeatable
They
on that
have
champ. Rakan goes in,
worst
and what
case,
happens? Milio just cleanses everything.
slightly
ultimate.
losing
Rakan doesn't really
mid lane
even get to
matchup,
charm
which
anybody
becomes
in this
Akali
game. You
favored.
can't petrify and gaze people because of the
And then
Milio
stays
either.
a skill
Lucian's
matchup
gonna
forever.
dominate the 2v2. Xayah's not going to get the chance to scale. We'll see what happens on the top side here. You're going to have to ban out like really strong side tops, but BLG have such a ridiculously good foundation in this draft already that they can round out with basically anything.
I mean, the thing is,
in the
like, let's say
jungle and on the
BLG ban
top
out
side,
another
and they're
diving jungler
probably
that
going to
like
feel good
helps enable Rakan, right, and the front to back.
JDG banning away
Let's just
the
say that's what they
vein.
do here.
They think Flandre is coming out.
Or maybe like
here,
an
and
Aphiri.
He's gonna pick up that vein that we talked about in the podcast.
Okay. What
With
does
Flandre
like if
having a
JDG
little bit
end up
more skill,
banning
at least
Shen?
in the
Us?
ranged top laners, besides his counterpart. But we do see
I mean,
the full jungle focus for BLG.
Renekton is
And,
open.
Something else that was
Sure.
left open from game number 1. That
But, like,
was
the thing is,
actually
if
banned
they-
by JDG last
if
time
Xiaoshu
around,
blinds Renekton, it's one of his
is
best
the
picks.
Lee Sin, and it
Flandre
fits
will
to
just
a
lock
T
on here,
for this
I
team
think.
comp.
Shun Lee Sin, sure, man.
Or
I mean,
Cassante.
just tack it on, right? Like, you want to dive
Lucian
buddy for the
Milio.
Akali, and
Lee Sin,
Yeah,
College.
you win bot lane. You're great.
And they'll
in
have a
team
good
fights
side
right
lane
now. You've
if
got
they go
Knight on his
Cassante,
most
and they'll have
deadly
good
champion of the
engage
split.
if they have
You've got
one.
Shun on a pick that maybe isn't his signature.
Into two
champ,
immobiles.
because Kindred and Italy, they exist, but
I mean, sure,
it's pretty high
Skarner
up
into
there in terms
divers.
of
I
things
like
he's played
this.
over the course of his career. Just everything that BLG
But it
want
would
in this
also be
particular game.
Skarner into
Skarner could
Milio.
be the answer. It's a good pair up with the Casio. It gives you some
I
tools
don't know
to go
about that.
backwards in
There's
these team
Renekton.
fights, but you gotta have pressure somewhere on the map. Renekton would make some sense. Xiaoshu is
I mean,
very
Flandre could also
much
just
a
pick
Renekton
Gnar.
player, even going back to
Gnar's
a
up, by the
long
way.
time ago when he debuted in the LPL. This has always been a signature pick.
I don't know. I
They're
feel like
just
JDG are
looking
just
for consistency
absolutely
in this
handcuffed
draft. How they
themselves
close it
by
out
locking
here
in
the
this
draft
Ira
is gonna
Khan.
matter. Skarner is definitely the
How did
pick I'm
Flandre look game one?
kind of
Fine.
keeping my eyes on here. Trundle would also
Absolutely
be a
fine.
potential option if they wanted to go for it alongside the Casio, but it's once again them going for team fights.
Yeah, very true.
As one would
And,
expect.
I don't mind the Skarner. I mean, you
I
get a
mean,
good
yeah, it's just the
entail,
Gnar-
you're
it's just
locking down
the
some
Gnar
very
game of all
mobile
time.
members, and that's gonna feel pretty good. I'm okay with some of the answers that JDG have into the team. I just saw a hover there that I would really like. I don't think that's what we're gonna get, but I really want the Malphite because it sounds hilarious. But being able to have this kind of
Also,
steady
low-key,
survival
not
team
a
comp for
horrible,
JDG does feel good.
Mundo
It will
game.
be the flaw
All right.
Gnar.
I'm going to run
I mean, it's a pretty good
Ads.
Gnar angle. You're looking at Renekton on the other side.
Minute and a
It's
half
good
on
draft
Twitch.
overall for
You won't
BLG.
miss
Just
anything. By the time the
comfort
ads are
level of
done,
these
we'll be
champions
loading
and the
in.
lane matchups they were able to get are just absurd. It is once again a situation where I do think they get outscaled. I think that is fair to say. Casio, Xayah, Skarner in the back end of the game. It's going to be a bit of a
it's
problem.
weird because I think they get
Milio
face
can
value
actually
outscaled,
negate
but
a
I
lot of
actually
that,
think that
especially
Lucian
if you
can
get
run
gold
this
onto
game
Lee Sin and
with
Akali.
Milio in his pocket.
You know, it makes the late game a lot more difficult, but we have very similar, I guess, setups to what we had in
So I
game
don't think
number
it matters
one.
that
BLG are
much.
going to have so much control in the early part of the game. They're going to have even stronger lanes than they did in game number one, but JDG are going to hope to survive and try and get themselves to a spot where they were able to win some fights in game number one, that being the late game.
Yeah, and that survival is key, but it just feels like BLG have all the momentum they could need in this one, and they are feeling themselves with this draft here. I do wonder what this means in the long term for drafting style from BLG, because it doesn't feel like much has changed in what they've been wanting to accomplish, what they've been wanting to grab at least.
Yeah, I think this looks exactly like the BLG we remember. Gnar, to be fair, not a Wenbo pick. This is very much a Flandre pick, so at least we're getting that little shake-up here to see how they're going to perform, but Gnar is so good in this particular matchup. Hopefully he can get a lead. He was the only player in the previous game to not get a gigantic lead in his own individual laning phase. Just kind of
50 gifted if someone gets a Quadra or a Penta.
I think he's going to have more opportunities here.
I see.
I'm sure this is going to be a pretty fun one for Flandre if he can
I
get going.
see. I understand what's going on.
Game number 2 of our final
And I'm cool with that.
series of the
I
night.
ain't
It's
gonna
only a
qualms.
2 for tonight. The rest of the week, 3 series every night. BLG versus JDG, game 2.
Insta pause.
You hate to see it.
Jeej.
You hate to see the instant
Yep.
pause as we get into game. I will say JDG was marginally louder, I would say, in terms of their fan support, in the sense that I think BLG was a little quieter and didn't quite feel as overwhelming in favor of them, but certainly I think the BLG fans are going to feel happy about this situation. I'm curious to see
Come
what the
on.
junglers want to do in the early game. Lee Sin, if he gets any sort of lead in the same pockets that, you know, Shun was able to do in the previous game, that's a nightmare. Lee Sin's going to be so active here. I think
Missed
an
last
invade
game's
is
quad.
definitely possible pretty early
Yeah, there
on
actually
with
was a
the
quad
lack
kill
of
last game, it's
counter
true.
invade that is really on the side of JDG, so definitely keep an
I
eye
think
on
Lucian can definitely
what
run
Shun's
a
gonna do
quad
here.
this game.
Yeah,
I can see it.
Sin's been pretty good. A lot of people have started to come to respect it now, as they should. He wasn't always the best Lee Sin, but we've definitely seen some more rising prio for that for him, and does pick it a lot of times if it's left open, especially games like this where they just want winning lanes. They want to attack as much as possible.
That's BLG's thing, man. They love attacking lanes. They love getting big leads, and they love snowballing games out of control. You know, when we were talking about this team before MSI, back in split number 2, we were talking about a team that really was like all hands in terms of the way they played. Their macro was super inconsistent. They really did not play well from neutral. They were a team that I think really struggled in making good decisions at the end of games. I think that has improved over the course of this
Not bad.
split.
I
They've
think it's a
certainly looked
really
more
ballsy
comfortable
bet.
in the team fighting
But
stage, but
I respect
ultimately,
it.
this is still a team that wants to get gigantic leads and try and snowball out of control. If you're going to attack them, JDG has kind of identified, well, we kind of have to attack them in the later part of the game. That is their weakness, and Hopefully they can survive to that point.
I think this series and the way that these two teams fight, like,
very true.
It's possible.
I'm hoping to see some pop-offs from both sides.
Wonder what's causing
not just
pause.
BLG.
This is always kind of like the
Maybe
sad
get
thing about there
a
not
good
being a main
performance out of
broadcast
Honky
anymore.
again. I think dying
Is
10
we would at least
times in
occasionally
the
get
first
fed like
game of the series
information.
was not on his radar, probably. And this also wasn't on my radar. This very long pause to start game 2. Everything had been going fine and
Because we had a little bit of comms from China side.
Did your button stop working too?
And now,
Yeah, I'm spamming it. The casters are trying to start the game, but doesn't seem to be working.
Hopefully this isn't a long one.
I'm really
oh, and you know what the hell of doing
we'll have to send
the hell of doing this and not having any comms of China side production
I can't tell who the pause
is
is on. They've kept the camera lingering on Hangtu, but either
go.
way,
you never know how long the
back.
pause is going to be, so you might just have to fill forever.
Plain meta. We are back in it though now. As the game does kick off, we will
Genuine nightmare, bro.
the keystones here. Nothing too
Oh,
crazy.
look at this. Lucian has shield bash.
Nothing crazy in this one. No grass
Very
Mesa to talk
interesting.
about in game number 2, like we got
I
in game
wish
number
I could
1.
know how many procs he got.
Yes,
That's really
I
interesting,
am genuinely
actually.
curious. Hopefully, we can check that out.
Revitalize
at some
and
point.
shield
For now,
bash. Obviously, because Milio
gonna be
is
some
his
dueling
lane
starts
partner.
from these junglers, and keep an eye on this.
Oh, God,
Skarner.
Junja.
Junja is already.
Oh, we're
looking
getting
like he
freaky.
could potentially be going for this invade. The pings are going down.
I love
Is
this.
looking good.
I do like that. Just try to go for some vertical.
No, I love
jungling
this.
down
I
here,
love this.
maybe
This
try
is
to
so smart.
punish this very aggressive 2v2 in the bot lane as well. We'll start this one up and be unspotted for now. No vision there. Viper and On going for the early level 2 trade into Vampire and Golem.
And then it should turn into a level 3
this is
gank bot.
really good for Jinja. Yeah.
I mean,
you
Skarner
gotta
is a
be
little
very
bit
scared
slow,
of your
maybe
Vampire,
without W.
to be honest.
It looks like it's
The
taking a
Rakan's
while.
gonna be in some
But the thing
danger
is,
until
by the
he
time Lee Sin gets to
He's gonna hit
Raptors,
it, but
Krugs
great
are
job
going to
by
be
Junja
dead.
to stay off of that ward. They understand that it's likely going to have. He's likely going to have vision on the Raptors, so Lee Sin's going to make his way down here, and all he's going to find are those Raptors. Everything else will be gone in favor of the Skarner.
And as long as they make the play
really
quickly,
great start here for
I mean,
Jinja,
Jinja looks
he's gonna be
really
able to go
low.
back topside and basically
And
take
pop the
everything
pot.
he wants. He might make a play
As
bot here at
soon
I
level
think he should
3.
have just wrapped all the way
As
around. That
soon
could have
as
given them
Shun
less
gets
time
the
to react.
information,
Such a good
he
gank.
showed What timing from JDG.
Such a good gank. Oh.
Shun is darting over
Okay.
here to try to make a play, but Viper went for the aggressive play.
Oh,
Does
on-
get smacked
oh, so close to
down
actually
by
blocking that.
Junja, and with
Really good
desperation,
bothing.
Shun comes
Very,
in to
very,
try to
very
fight.
smart from Junjia.
On burns his flash to try and block
Very,
the
very,
damage,
very
but he's
smart
not
from
able
Junja.
to do it as well on the Milio. Massive play from Junja. What a great start for JDG, and they're keeping the pressure up down on the bot side. This is the exact opposite of what happened in game number 1. They are getting massive leads on their primary threats. It's as good as it can get here at level 3.
And then he's got an entire jungle to clear if he wants.
Incredible start.
He
and
can
a
just
very
literally,
cerebral
like,
start
he can clear from bot to
Junja.
top.
I think that's a
I think if I was
massive moment
him,
for them to try
and I'm
to
not saying this because I've
garner
just
a
seen the
bit
thing
of an
happen,
early
I would
lead
actually
for
skip
themselves.
Wolves
Now
and
he
do
just gets to
Raptors.
be a devious
Because now,
bandit
like, Lee has nothing to do but base,
by your
buy something, and then
jungle.
walk into the top side, right?
He's got such a big lead now. That free extra kill is also going
Let's
to
see.
accelerate him.
I would be a
You know, we
bit
talked
worried
about
about
the
Lee
benefits
Sin
of
being
able to
here
draft
on
a team
time.
fighting comp. One of the big reasons
Looks like
why
he's
I
not gonna make it,
BLG's
though.
draft is because it felt like they were going to have so much control over the mid game, and they probably are still going to have quite a bit of control. The Lee Sin not exactly going to be taken out of the game, but Skarner getting accelerated.
I mean,
It's going to matter a lot for their ability to posture. For now, Shun's going to try and get something. He is a level down if this fight happens, so curious to see how much he wants to go for here.
Okay,
Oh, Vampire's not here. Okay, they see Shun.
Control ward down. That's
It's
how
a
much
smite
he wants
50-50.
this
Oh, it's going to
moment.
reset. Oh my god.
Try to steal it away. Smite fight.
Oh, Junjia
Better
got it
of
as
it.
well.
Junjia
Wow,
takes it
wow,
away.
wow, wow, wow. Very, very good
It's
stuff.
just
Honky.
terrible. As we get a fight in the mid lane here. Honkyu's
Oh,
in danger.
nice.
No
Oh,
mana.
okay.
Nice. Half energy.
Knight was a little bit worried about the damage back with the Twin Fangs. It will be just a very close affair in the mid lane after that jungle scuffle.
Yeah, you got to be very nervous about trading with an Akali early on in a game like this. Her kill pressure is kind of ridiculous if she can get on top of Honkyu. He's got to play really safe as he's just hoping for this wave to get closer and closer. Well done by him to not overstep, but also not let the wave crash. Gonna be keeping an eye on mid lane very, very heavily. Honkyu already with a bit of a CS lead, and that was not how game 1 ended up going. This is where BLG got their
sticks
massive
around.
lead and really got it out of control. Junja trying to change that here.
I mean, he can just come through the wall. Wonder if Knight's going to respect it. Does get hit a little bit with the poison. Junja not going to be spotted out just yet as well. He's going to go for the Scuttle Crab. And it will just be the trade of those Scuttle Crabs. But Shun is passing down towards bot lane now.
Yeah, I mean, this is just a good start for JDG. Dragon is spawned, and they're going to have the crab for it. And just still on the bot side. Viper and On should be okay. They're going to look.
I don't know. Grand entrance goes through. He stalls impact, doesn't hit him, but On should still die. It will be Junja that picks up another kill. He's
I'm not gonna lie, man.
0 on the Skarner.
Skarner with gold is still pretty good.
I forgot that On burn
Skarner with gold still feels really good.
Skill shot that he did not block in the previous exchange. No flash means it is going to be a free death, especially if you're going to try and dodge forwards. So another free kill on the bot side. Junja has completely run the map so far. He's gotten 2 kills for himself, but that does mean that the
Shun's gonna
Skarner
be
has
6
to
at
stay aggressive. Gala and
620.
Vampire are going to be trading very actively on the bottom side of the
Let's
map,
see.
but the gold going
they
into the
can't play.
pocket of the jungler means that these objectives
Oh,
should
shouldn't
be
even
the
missed.
priority. Right now, Dragon is
Q on
on
the
the
Drake.
map.
It's fine, he
It's
gets
not
the
going to be
wall top to
taken
it.
at least for now by either side, but as we can see, 600 total games for Shun. He's going to need that experience in this one to come back from this deficit.
Hey man, my goat's on the screen. We love to see 600 games.
Elgin just
It's
coming
crazy
back to
how
Drake
much,
'cause
this
he
BLG
thinks he
team
started
has been, racking up some accolades with the longevity of them being together. Nice ultra mega fire kick and the speed up there from the heel to sidestep through the grand entrance. It's actually some pretty sweet mechanic coming out from On. Shun's gonna have to do that too, but unfortunately there's Skarner here
Okay,
this
Junja
time.
cancelled it early.
She does not find the angle there, so that will be all she said and wrote in the 3v3, but it does look like things are coming down to the Dragon. Are they just going to start
Yo,
this one up?
FLANDRE.
I mean, look at the XP on this Skarner. He's 99% of the way to level 6. Like, he is absolutely close to being able to have that Impale ready to go. BLG take this fight. It could be really scary, but Ninja doesn't have that level 6 yet.
Viper feeling himself. He is going to cleanse out of the exhaust. That's pretty huge. Double knock up of the grand entrance. Try to get the
Flash force from On.
Flash out of the Impale. Shouldn't just kind
You'd
of
love to get more impact out of your first R, though.
And JDG feeling
For sure.
strong. Junja
Doesn't feel the
picked up his
best,
third
especially with
kill
this
of
kind
the
of
game.
lead. And you
This
can't
is
really
the exact kind
transition
of
this into a
pressure that
Drake.
Jinja needed to put on this Skarner. Getting that level lead,
Like, you
is
can't turn this
incredibly
into a dragon.
important, and utilizing it immediately to force the flash off
He's
of the
pinging the
Milio
river.
and the cleanse out of Viper
Is
as
he
well
gonna
in
start
that
Drake here?
exchange is really important.
As
Oh,
soon as
stuck around.
Junja leaves, though, they immediately go and pounce for the prey. Shun, though, needs to be careful, and JDG do make it out alive as well.
Well, that's not ideal.
It is going to be the exhaust and the flash burned by Gala.
Shun's
Yeah, I
taking
really
a
didn't
reset.
expect them to stay up so far. It was a really, really lucky timer for Gala to
still
be
gonna
able
get
to get
crab.
out of there. I did not think that the Xayah was going to be able to survive, but well done overall by JDG not to trade too much. It means no dragon for Skarner, despite the pings coming down. Hongq does have pressure in the mid lane, though, so they should be able to control this river, at least for now. We are getting
Yeah, so many
full
camps.
vision of the camps on the top side, and basically
There's a
everything
lot.
up and available. Yes, everything is on the map for Lee Sin today.
Gonna need it to catch up.
You know,
but,
that's something I always
they
wonder
didn't show
about.
it, but Junja's also gonna be clearing. almost
Whenever we
the
get like
entire-
these, so this is another like
side
very
both
cool
jump.
thing about working
So,
on the LPL.
It's gonna feel pretty interesting with the
Back in the
small
day,
advantage
is
that
there would be
Junja's gotten,
times
at
where
least over Shun
League would just
directly.
transcend
No
language,
dragons.
and we would be
Grubs are
talking
up,
about
but
something
we'll
very
see what kind of
blatantly
objective focus takes
on
place
the
here
English
with both
cast,
teams
and then the
coming into
observers
position.
who aren't on
Looks
our
like
side, they're
Junja
not
will be
hearing
the
our
first to
audio,
start up
right?
the
We're
run.
getting the exact same feed that
Yeah,
the
I
China
really like this
casters
idea.
get.
I think it gives
That,
their, overall
you know,
comp a
obviously
little
the
bit more
Chinese
stability.
casters
They a
have
lot of
comms with
split
their
push potential
observers.
in this game, coming in from
And there'll be
Renekton,
so many times where
even
we'd
coming
be
in
talking
from
about something,
Cassio
and then the
Xayah in
observers
terms
would
of what they
also
can
talk
do
about
with
it.
how fast
And
they
just,
can wave
you
clear.
know that the
I think
Chinese
Grubs are
casters are
really
talking about the
valuable
exact
for
same thing
JDG
that you're
drafted
talking
for
about.
themselves,
And
Not
it
every
would
team
always be
comps
like a
gonna wanna
really cool
prioritize
moment
heavily
where you're
to
just like,
Jinja,
yeah.
understanding, hey, if Dragon's
League of
not
Legends
getting
here is
taken, I
just
might as well get this
transcending
free
language.
objective that
Like,
BLG seems
you know that
pretty
the
okay
Chinese
giving
casters are talking about exactly what you're talking about because the
They'll
observers
be
would
able
pan
to
over
block a
something
little
or
bit
like
of fire
highlight
under
something
them
like
in
that.
bot lane 2v2, not feeling as
And like in
willing
that
to go
case,
for those early
it's
trades.
shouldn't have all of his camps up.
Have the
Oh,
burst damage, but a double grand entrance into the quickness combo, and Viper
like
dashes
Gala.
out, but doesn't have much else.
Guess 'cause he had to
does
blow
have the
flash early.
Does
Now
burn
this is
the
a problem.
culling, too. Tries to get some damage back into Gala.
Because
Not much
Junja did
going lane down
the
of
grubs
BLG's
top, all of his
bot lane.
tempo.
Shouldn't even
He's just
recover,
very
too.
slow.
Just a great spike from JDG.
Very slow to
once
make it
again,
to bot.
capitalizing on the fact that they hit 6, or Vampire hit 6 a little earlier than On in that exchange, and is able to make a really strong trade, get even more stuff away from BLG, have that ult go down. Gala is quietly getting very strong. I mean, Junja obviously has the 2 kills and is going to be able to complete that first item very early, but if this Xayah starts getting a bit out of control, we talked about the scaling from JDG. So much of that is the fact that Xayah can really go anywhere on the map with the comp that they've drafted for themselves and feel comfortable. This team is good going backwards, but they can go forwards as well with Skarner and with Rakan, potentially a Renekton flank, so gotta keep an eye on whether or not this bot lane lead is going to hold the way it has.
About 1,000 gold leads steadily developed by JDG. Much better of a situation to be in than game number 1. So that's already a positive. Again, this is a team that's on a 3-win streak after a very up and down start to the first round robin. And really trying to crest into the powerhouse that we know they can be in the second round robin.
They are trying to get there, but it's going to take some time in this game. Heartsteel completed for Jinja on the Skarner, so does have that first item ready for a potential fight as of now. He does have the Impale back up as well, so Dragon is likely going to be on the table. He's making his way once again down bot lane.
Loud.
Find the double objectives.
Cassio's moving too.
Really hasn't gotten anything going on the Lee Sin, and Junja
Heartsteel
hits
proc.
a massive Heartsteel. My God, the damage he's doing right now on this Skarner.
Good movement from On.
Kills goes a long way for the tank, as Hongkyu also came down looking for extra help.
Good movement from On.
This is not looking good. Lucian ultimate just tickling.
All right, now they
the
can't
Skarner
overextend
at
this
point
because
in
Knight
the
will
game.
move
Knight
bot,
is going to try
and
to
he's
get
got
something mid,
Gunblade.
but we even get the teleport into the mid lane to catch this wave. They literally
Yeah,
lose
they've
nothing
gotta
for
stop
this,
now.
and JDG is going to crash this wave, get even more gold for Gala. They're going to get full control over this Dragon. Viper and Honor just not in a great spot. I will say, small consolation prize. You do see a bit of the value of Milio there, as it completely negated the Skarner engage and basically made the dive impossible. But at this point, consolation, I think, is a very good way to put that, because negating good plays instead of creating, you know, plays yourself, that's not really ideal here.
Oh.
For the champ.
Ooh. Hey, walking through the petrifying
I don't know
gaze.
if I'll.
Yeah,
I don't know about walking up there, bro. That's
Hongkyu. He got scared, and that fear is
Yeah, that
something
was a bit
Knight
crazy,
preys
Hongkyu. That-
on. A solo kill.
Yeah,
for Knight.
no, that was
Look, you know, we've been hyping up JDG. They have
The
a big
second
gold
he started
lead here.
clicking
This
forward,
game is
I-
far
even
from
I-
over
like,
on
bro,
Knight's
Akali deals
Akali.
damage.
You can never count this guy out on that champion. He is always going to have the chance to be able to try and pick up a win. That's
Little
a
bit
big
insane.
solo kill to get them back into at least a, you know, lane that they can play through. Knight's going to be really important, but Jinja on the chase down
Knight
here.
has E, I think. No. Okay,
All
that's
right,
fine.
good flash from Knight, because he was actually
Maybe
going
it was
to
on CD.
connect that right into the wall and get the CC chain, and then get a nice little Heartsteel. As we know that was coming. Soon is also going to be coming down the bot lane for probably the 3rd time in a row. Doesn't find the angle he wants, and actually JDG are going to put
Well,
some
JDG are in
pressure
a
now
good
on
spot
the back
this
that they were
game.
trying to complete.
Viper's been
Yeah, I think
supports
this
just
is
hugging in the bush.
quite a funny
for a sec.
circumstance that Vampire and Gala just get to shove the entirety of BLG's bot jungle duo off of the turret just by themselves because of the amount of pressure and ward coverage that they have on the map right now. Just incredible stuff, and now On could be in a bit of danger.
Quickness comes out, and you know the flash is
mean, he's
coming
got
after
ult.
that grand entrance connect.
He doesn't
on
have
the
mana.
other side of the charm, calling, gonna pull
He's got
Gala
mana for a
away.
shield,
Gala
though.
trying to get
And
the
now
kill
Viper's gonna get a
but
trade
he's
kill.
overextended himself, and he will just get taken down by Viper.
That
That's some good
feels
gold trade
pretty good for Viper. This doesn't
but
feel
it's still
good for
gonna be a
Viper, though.
massive lead, and Viper unfortunately overextends.
Loud.
The fight Hongkyu had shown up like slithery snake he is to pick up his first kill.
That is basically the one play that BLG could not give over in order to, you know, get themselves back into the game. You do not want to be giving gold over to the Cassiopeia. Gala overextends. The 1-for-1 trade is really not that bad at all in favor of BLG. Viper getting any gold right now is super important to be able to
So that's how not that I was about to say. Is that how really not bad?
Hongkyu not only picks up another kill, he's going to get power on the top. He's got 600 gold kills. The fact that he got solo kill.
I'm gonna be honest, man. This Cassio will be a problem in like 5 minutes. The Akali is a problem now. Just look at this. I know the T-Tools. Like, look, so R's,
way too far forward,
Q's,
just
and
not
then he
in
starts
the right
clicking
position
forward.
to
This,
be able to
like,
take this
the first
chain.
E is fine.
Knight
The
going
second
back
E
to
and looking
Cave,
more,
he's
it's
like,
just greedy.
You know, maybe
It's
I don't have
just
to worry
greedy.
too much. He dashes in. I'm lying. He didn't even need level 11. He was level 10 and he got the execute down. This is how Akali plays. Cassio, you do not want to be that mobile mage going into Knight's Akali.
And that's how Knight plays the Akali. Impressive stuff from him when he's able to get this champion out on
Just finished my
board.
first day at new job. Happy I can still
And,
catch some LPL. Hell yeah,
JDG now
Ace.
continuing
Hope you're enjoying the new
with
job.
Now about a 3,000 gold lead to put the screws to BLG so far in this game number 2. Junja is going to go ahead and pull off his back and leave this one out here. Both junglers now looking for their next avenue, which will be up towards that Rift Herald.
Yeah, the Herald is the next objective, and JDG can really get whatever they want on the map right now. You have to be a little bit careful around some of these neutral objectives. Again, Knight is kind of strong right now on the Akali, and you have some pretty some pretty killable, we'll just say, main carries on JDG's side. Vampire gonna bring Shun into the back line of his team, but just gonna get over the wall.
You can tell BLG are just trying to test the waters here. How powerful has JDG become? It's going to be the jungler squaring off the mid
I think
lane
Knight
now. We have
one-shots this guy.
Xiaosu is going to try to go for the slice and dice for the exit, and he's going to be fine now. The fight in mid lane still continuing with
Viper.
3v3. I think Viper is in
Oh, Viper
trouble.
kind of
There's gonna be
pooped himself a little bit.
On. There's the kickback trying to
Well,
get Gala
never mind.
in range
Shun is a
of
beast.
Viper takes him down. Viper's
My
looking
God.
for more. TP comes in from Knight. Knight's looking for his own recompense for
And-
the bot lane play. He'll find that one kill. They're trying to get on to Xiaosu now, but Shun has overextended. He'll go down. But
Bro, it's
another
freaky
kill
how good
goes
Knight
over
is at
to
this jump, by the
Viper,
way.
And all of a sudden, Viper has 3 kills now. Knight has 2 kills. And the gold
It's so
lead
freaky how
has
good he is at this jump.
evaporated.
Fantastic kick as well from Shun.
Mazel, sometimes I hate being right, but how did BLG play that about as well as they could? JDG just made a big mistake in terms of that engage. Jinja prioritizing the wrong member of BLG as they think that the exhaust is going to last on the Viper. He just cleanses the exhaust and then is outputting a ridiculous amount of damage. As we get a replay of this fight, Gala steps up. Again, exhaust goes down. They ult onto the Milio, but Viper just cleanses the exhaust, puts out the culling. And at this point, Shun's on the backline. Gala is completely alone. The kick is gorgeous from Shun. I didn't even see that the first time
Actually think-
around.
did
Just
Shun
beautiful
fuck that
stuff
up?
to take down.
I think
a
Shun
big
meant to
carry
actually
with
kick
a
him
lot
in.
of gold on the side of JDG, and
And
that's
the
the
input was just
0-0-0 Lee
backwards.
Sin that we were waiting for. A massive fight win for BLG. This immediately puts them back into a great spot. Doesn't completely turn the game around or anything like that, but that is the exact play they needed to make in order to get back into this game. Herald has now been started.
Viper's been weaving as well. He's on 2 items already. He's still in the brown paper bags, but honestly, you take that on the Lucian. We see it all the time. He is extremely strong now. Soon he's finding these angles on his Lee Sin that JDG chose to leave open in game 2. FLANDRE, though, finally getting some attention for the first time as Viper dies
Nice
in mid
cue.
lane to Hongq. Wish we could see how that happened, but now FLANDRE is back under pressure, trying to take
Run,
on Xiaosu
FLANDRE.
too. FLANDRE's going to flash away from Junja.
Okay, so overall, pretty good
Shun.
stuff from JDG. Shun's still here.
Soon is
Huh?
dead. He's not here anymore. Vampire gets the kill.
Well, Knight's on the way. And they
Gotcha.
were going to Drake.
Okay, well,
Weird game
nice
two.
free kill to gift over for BLG. The reason that play was so important is Dragon has spawned, and again, JDG has started to stack these.
Oh,
We're gonna replay
Viper.
the dive.
Bro, this is the
Really good
second
look here from
time
JDG. Viper
this
just
series he's
alone in
E'd under
mid
the
lane,
tower.
No protection coming in from the Lee Sin, and that means the
Like
Lucian
this.
is very killable despite the gold lead here. Hongq flashing and immediately push back.
You
by
never
Vaughn.
on
That definitely
Lucian
is,
typically
not
as
an
well.
ideal
Like,
circumstance for the Cassiopea
and now this
to
more
burn
applies
that
to
flash,
laning.
but I don't really know
but
what
you
Shin's
very
doing here.
rarely
Just
wanna
looking to
dash
push out the wave and not realizing that I guess he's in
directly
danger. Just one of those plays you
in
can't really be making
to
on the
trade.
Lee Sin, and JDG are going to get to capitalize by stacking.
Just
even
like
more
because of the
Deep
way
Dragon.
spacing
This
works,
Ocean
like you
Soul
never
is gonna be
directly
our
want to
big game.
dash into your opponent. You always want to dash at an angle
A couple of souls stacked.
because it allows you to
Dragons
just
that leads you to
maintain
feel
your ability
really
to
nice
space and
for
orb walk.
decisions later on
The
in
second that
games
you
for
dash in,
JDG.
you actually give up space. Even if you're trading in, you're the one giving up space. So you never want to dash directly in when you trade.
Gala was looking for a cheeky
Same thing
play
probably
call
applies
on
to, like,
Viper.
Ezreal E as well.
Find what he was looking for,
Though I guess with
but
Ezreal it's a little bit
BLG
different because
gonna
your
stick
E actually
around,
deals
try to clear
damage.
the rest of Shin's jungle. Nobody else gonna go start the Rift Herald just
But with
yet.
Lucian especially, you
Gotta
never want
start
to
it
do that.
quick.
Oh, Rylai's
They
slow.
gotta. I mean, FLANDRE is
FLANDRE's
once again
kinda
in
dead.
danger. He did burn Flash earlier, so
Oh,
gotta be careful.
he deals a
but
lot of damage in
FLANDRE's,
return, actually.
A bit of a threat in his own right. Hongq's definitely got to make sure that he is secure in that side wave. Shun should have full priority here, but again, he's getting flanked. His Akali has left him. This could be scary
Yeah.
for the Lee Sin. Teleport
TP
coming through.
coming in. It's gonna be FLANDRE. He's not close to Mega, but he does
Yeah.
represent a little bit with that shield. And at the last moment, not the last possible moment,
Cool.
the last little bit, BLG were able to secure the
Okay,
Rift
Herald.
Herald. So that's the first neutral.
It's really nice
objective for
denial,
them.
especially if
Gonna
JDG
move
can't
over
kill
to
this
try
tower,
to
but it looks like they're
contest
going to get
over
it.
this Defense of their turret, but don't think they're going to be successful. The turret does fall to Gala.
Yeah, Viper is still an item up right now, but this would be a very risky fight for BLG to take. JDG waiting in the wings.
Ooh.
Hongq misses.
Hongq. That's a really tough petrifying gaze to not hit, but they do make it out okay. So they'll be fine for now. No objective coming up just yet but the Baron, and nobody's going to be starting that up anytime soon. So it's a good attempt from JDG to find something.
All right, well, it's going to be a lot of posturing for the next
Backs
couple of
coming
minutes.
through. Hongq not having the best day that he has had, but he is still strong on the Cassiopeia. Doesn't really matter how many you miss if you hit the one that matters. That being said, this 2K gold lead does feel fake, at least in terms of where the game state is at right now. JDG is winning for sure. They're in a pretty good position, but this game is far from over. Both of these sides absolutely have the tools to continue to play. If Knight's Akali is going to have 2 kills, this game is never going to be out of reach for BLG. Ultimately, it's going to come down to how they set up around these objectives. Baron has spawned, since it is the 20-minute mark on the map here. We are still about 2.5 minutes.
I do worry about Knight's
Dragon.
ability to deal damage, though.
Try and take a skirmish, maybe get a pick,
Like, he's always going to be able to kill Gala. I don't think that's a
try and play
problem.
this out for a potential
But to everyone else, like, especially with this build, Gunblade
And I
into
know
Rocket
it's
Belt,
a little bit of a different situation in this game specifically.
I think
but
it's geared
obviously
only to kill
there's
Gala,
a
which is
lot of
fine.
firepower when you have Viper and
Viper
Knight
and Flandre can
on the
deal
same
damage to the
team.
rest of the team.
And I think when we look at some of the value that these two guys bring to the table here for BLG, I think it can't be understated. And in this kind of game, they're the ones that are going to have to mechanically outplay because they weren't able to get these deficits, or at least these positives for themselves.
Yeah, I mean, it's just utterly insane that you have the two highest goal difference of 15 players in the entire league on the same team. The rarity of that is immense, and it really goes to show just how talented BLG are. The fact that they don't even have a gold lead right now, that they have been a little behind, and they're still able to catch back up, just shows you how scary they can be in the right circumstance. Still, this is JDG's game to lose. We talked about their scaling in draft, and I think they very much still have that. It's all really going to come down to who is going to be more aggressive. Let's take a look at the vision control on the map right now. A couple of deep wards for JDG on the bottom side, but Skarner is
This goes to 3 games, by the way. I will go and grab a
Dragon spawning in
snack.
just over a minute. I imagine Vampire's
Some
going to
air
be spending
fryer
a lot of
food.
time in this bottom river.
Yeah, I'm really looking at
Your
what
boy's
items
hungry.
start coming through for this fight.
Also,
because
do you guys want to know a
expect
fun
Soul
fact that I
Point
learned?
For JDG, I mean, they could give
Which
it, they
does
could look
actually
for
make
map
sense.
pressure elsewhere, but could also go for
The-
extra power.
And I think it's true. I never looked it up. I just read it on the internet.
Over BLG's shoulders.
But anecdotally, it
These
feels
items are
correct.
actually extremely important. Looking for the third item.
The sensation for hunger
Don't think we're gonna
that
see
you
it
feel is the
anybody
same
here coming into this fight, so it's looking
slash
like a 2.5
similar
item affair.
Yeah, this could be the fight that
as
determines the entire
thirst.
game. Depending
So
on
sometimes
how
you're
things
actually
end
just
up
thirsty.
Going, especially with Baron on the map as well.
But your
So
body
you
sends
wanna be as
the,
strong as you
effectively
can
what is the
possibly
same
be,
trigger.
and that third item power
So you
spike
just
would have
you
been
feel like you're hungry.
huge.
But actually, if you
Like,
drink
we're not going to be
water,
able to have
normally
that,
just
but
water,
everybody else on the team is in a pretty strong spot.
you will shortly thereafter no longer actually feel hungry because you were never hungry.
At least in terms
You
of
were
the
thirsty.
healing, because of that Ardent Sensor, he's got the keel cut with the Morello for the Skarner in that same vein, even for the Zyme
But I know for a fact
in
I'm
that same
hungry.
vein. So definitely going to be a fight that BLG have the tools to be able to win. You don't want to get chunked out beforehand, though. If you are Knight down on this side wave, that vision control I talked about them getting, it's actually been in favor of
Okay,
BLG,
here we go.
who currently have control of the river. You
Big
gotta make
fight
sure you're not getting
on its
flanked
way.
by this Akali.
The other thing, we always have the Rift Herald for Sun. He could use it as a Battle Herald.
Flandre,
or
that's a
he
lot of
could see
damage,
little bit of
man.
split hook. Look at this team.
Rivalize is so OP.
He's going
He's
Mega.
got such a deep flank right now. This is insane from JDG. They
JDG
feel
just have to be
confident
patient and let the
to
Mega
step up.
time
He
out.
has
I think
spotted
BLG are
Rift
done
Herald
with this
use.
fight
It
already.
looks like it is Battle
Oh,
Rift
Dave.
Herald today. Here goes Flandre into the pit. The double kick.
Oh, the
comes
kick
through
is
from Sun.
useless.
He's looking for the
Shouldn't
finish
actually
on
go
the
out. That's a bit
Dragon. He's gonna
nuts.
flash
Flandre is
out.
mini. He's
Dragon
going
is
to die on the
left
back line.
alone. Nobody's
Shun, can he get the
finishing
Drake?
now.
Nope.
Shun's
That's
waiting
3
in the
Drakes.
bush, but it's going to be
Yeah,
taken
this
by
is over.
Tunja. That's third dragon in a row for JDG.
JDG are really going to have to fuck
Chelsea's
this game up.
still onto
Oh, I think
Viper
Knight
behind
pressed a
the
couple of
rest
buttons
the
he didn't want to
fight.
press.
Knight just gets taken down by the rest of JDG, and I don't think BLG can hang in this game number 2, K-Man.
It's a huge fight win for JDG.
Yep,
Not
match
only
pings
are they
too.
going to pick up the Dragon, they're going to make their way topside to pick up this Baron as
I
well.
think this
That could be
game
the
is
game-sealing
Jova.
fight for JDG, and it all comes down to the fact that Flandre was caught at the start of that exchange in the river. Meganar is the front line for BLG in this fight, and if he's going to get chunked out and burn that Mega early on, there is no way for you to keep this going. Look at Flandre's health bar. He's below half health, and Mega is over by the time this fight even starts in earnest. Yes, the Battle Herald comes through, but look at the health bar on the Dragon. JDG actually do a great job to peel off the moment Lee Sin gets into the pit. It's a lot of damage coming down, and Shun immediately has to flash over. He walks up and almost steals it away, but Flandre and Knight on these flanks, it's just not going to work out. Vampire is too good in terms of the peel with that charm. Monkey, once again, maybe not the perfect ultimate, but the exhaust coming down on the Akali even means that Gala is safe on the back end of this fight. Really, there is no negative that I can give JDG. Perfectly executed, and it could be the thing that seals the game for them.
They have the Baron on all 5 members now. They've gotten 2.
Tisk, 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 JDG. I mean, the draft was very disrespectful.
This comp. Being on 3 dragons now, being close to that 3-item spike, having this carry potential, and the engage.
Well, it's just very well played from JDG. It
Vampire
sets
on
up the game.
Rakan and Dunja on this Skarner are bringing I just
so
think
well.
BLG are starting to run out
It
of
just
options, and
keeps Shin
this
away
is
from
when
bot for
you've
so
seen
long
BLG struggle,
in like a
especially when they
meaningful
don't
and
find a lead
impactful
when
way.
they've drafted the way they've drafted, and they can't use it to press and exert their might onto the enemy team.
This is exactly what, we've been saying about BLG. Their macro at the beginning of the year wasn't great. Hongq, though, might be caught.
He might get caught. TP takes forever to get there, though, for FLANDRE, so he's not able to. The kick just goes into the wayside.
Yeah,
Touch
it's
time
just such
gauge
good
was also
anti-mobility,
used, but that
these
cooldown
champs.
is very short.
Yeah, I mean, not really a lot lost
And
there
like the
for
way that the
JDG.
fights have
Flandre's
happened,
over the wall.
there's
He's
never
looking
been a
for
situation.
ult.
Oh my god, on.
He's only got halfway on it. He's going to look for it. Does get his stalls
so messy.
impacted. Although Knight just tries to go in and gets completely CC'd
Oh, they
down.
at least kill Vampire.
Kills double.
Viper can't get as much out as he wants. Oh, he got rooted as well. Yeah, it's so hard to play.
As Dominus is already popped. And
It's
that's
only a
what
triple.
JDG are
No!
doing to BLG.
We were 1 kill away from getting a
8
50
for JD
gift, dude.
Gaming.
That's
They
so
don't
fucked up.
care about the BLG
Gala
scaling.
was
They
so
don't
close
care
to getting
about
a quad.
playing the map. They want the base as they crack everything open with that team fight win. It's
Well,
just surgical precision. I think they're going to push to try to end here. Look at the death timers. It's over 20 seconds.
26 minutes in, 8.5k lead. It was clinical from the beginning. Junja focused on bot side completely. They found the advantages they wanted. A double kill started for the jungler.
Renekton stole it, the cunt.
They
I'm crying.
have done it. All 3 games.
All right, we're getting a 3-game series out of BLG versus JDG. I'm here for it.
6 games to kick off day number 1 in week number 4.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it. All right, I'm going to run ads. I'm going to leave you guys on Twitch with music if you're on YouTube. Thanks so much for kicking it.
We were talking
gonna
about
remind
JDG.
you guys, join the
We're
Discord.
so back. We're on the uptick. They were 3-0 last week.
After
but
this as
game
well,
number
just
one, so
as a
much of that
heads up,
momentum
we
seemed to
will
have
be
been
doing
sapped out of the system of JDG, but
DKKT
a
review
really good
just to
showcase
see
from
what
them in
happens.
game number 2. They draft once again for scaling, but that awesome early game from Junja
Just to see what happened in that
completely tore
series.
apart the entire strategy from BLG.
I need to know.
They were able to win one fight, but
Oh, yeah.
ultimately they never
I'm
found
gonna
that same level of
lower this down. If you're on YouTube, it's just going to be silent. I'm sorry.
One big mistake from Knight diving the back line there. All of these things ended
Actually, if I
up
just
adding
blow up the
to
music.
an overall game that they could not come back from, and now we're looking at a game number 3 from a team that we were counting out just a week
Have it balanced, maybe like this.
That's the craziest thing about this whole
Maybe it's hearable on YouTube. All right, I'll be back.
It's a JDG that has started to find themselves, and then we lost some of that hope in game number 1. But when you continuously draft things that are easy to execute, I preach about it all the time. That is how you find the comebacks in these kinds of series, because after a confident game number 1, BLG are always going to draft ego in game number 2, and you just punish that so heavily.
And here's the thing, man. It's not just ego, right? It's so many picks that I think are generally good in this meta and for their players. Like Knights Akali losing in this circumstance, that's huge. Like Knights Akali has been nearly unbeatable. This Lucian Milio into Xayah Rakan, I think, is very Lucian Milio favored. I love playing Milio into a full engaged champion like Rakan because of the amount of peel that you generally have as a champion. You have a lot of dive on the enemy side, but not really a lot of ways to take advantage of it. There should have been advantages, but again, Junja's pressure on the bottom side of the map, getting this Xayah Rakan ahead in the early part of the game, it completely destroyed the entire game plan for BLG, and ultimately, you have to give a ton of credit over to Junja for that. There's been some talk, about some changes in the JDG roster, some new players coming in. I think Junja's trying to put a lot of that to bed right now with this performance.
I would say so. A little pretty good little Skarner performance, but also showing the team communication skills, being able to play around what is set out as the strategy and being able to punish some of those members from BLG. It's a great performance from JDG top down.
Just awesome stuff. I mean, there are still some things you want to see cleaned up. I still don't think Hongq was having a very good series. I think he's made a lot of critical errors. Some of those Cassio ultimates weren't exactly on point. He gets solo killed by Knight as well. Some mistakes coming through, some things that I think can be cleaned up. But the good thing about that, you won this game pretty confidently, and I don't think Hongq, your most consistent player across this split, was all that good. If he starts playing well, he can at least go neutral against Knight. Like, we've already seen that this team has the ability to get their big advantages. The big question now, I think, for BLG is, what do you look at in game number 3? I think, obviously, this game was a little weird. You basically lost it at level 2 because of the Skarner invade. Like, you never really were able to recover from that. But ultimately, the things that really came back to bite them was this team fight. It was the Soul Point fight that really kind of lost them the game. In this particular instance, you cannot be chunked out as early as FLANDRE was in this fight. Him immediately going onto the backline as Mini Gnar alongside Knight and just dying. That's also a big mistake. We were asking whether or not FLANDRE was going to be a good piece for this team, he made some pretty massive mistakes in this one.
He did indeed, and that's where I want to start asking and talking about the MVP conversation of this game, because I truly do feel like it's got to be the.
Oh, did Mazel die? Is it just me? Okay. Yeah, if you're asking me about the MVP conversation, I guess I can talk about that. Mazel was about to make, I'm sure, some sort of argument for Gala. I understand giving Vampire and Gala a lot of credit for the way that they played in this one. They got there because of Junja. Without that gank at level 2, level 3, without that play on the bot side, we're on flashes to try to block the Skarner Q and ends up not even being able to block it. His 80 carry goes down. Like, I think Junja ran this game. I think without the Skarner, this would have been a lot more difficult for JDG, and I certainly don't think they would have been able to pick up the victory. So, good stuff overall. I would say I'm expecting a Junja player of the game here, but you never know. I'm sure the famous LPL AI will be voting for Gala because of the damage he was able to do on the Xayah. You never really know, but just a good showcase. This is a team that I think, we think back to the beginning of the year when it comes to JDG, we think of a team that generally looks at, and it is going to be Junja. I think this is the right choice. He definitely ran the early game here. That is, I think, an ethical, correct pick, but I'm excited to see what JDG and BLG do in a game number 3. I did not expect to get to this big game number 3, but we're gonna see how these two teams break down. Hopefully I'll have a play-by-play caster as we send it to break here. We will be back for 6th game of the day, game 3 between BLG and JDG.
Flandre has been good. Sorry, I probably got up as soon as you typed that message. Flandre's been pretty good. He's just been doing his thing, man. Doesn't really have to, like, do a lot. He's just been solid. Dun 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 dun. Oh, let me move my camera down. So sorry, I'm just doing work messages. Soz if I'm non-verbal, guys. Soz. This is a banger, by the way. Yo, I have never heard this Amy Winehouse song, bro. This is I mean, Amy Winehouse is just Amy Winehouse, innit? But honestly, one of the saddest deaths in English music. Yeah, the games have been good today. Game 1 was a bit stompy. BLG almost through. Game 2 was like soft stompy, and JDG almost through. I think the games have been good so far. Do not watch Kitty's stream.
请还手。
你上次教我的方法，我算出来结果不对。
你这一步要这样操作。
Now they're
Is this
going
AI?
close
每
together.
天下班都买他家的甜品啊，很好吃吗？
我是给，哦，送给你尝尝吧。
真的吗？谢谢斌哥了。
Am I tweaking?
兵哥外面有人，
公司
兄弟们。
团建而已，怎么喝这么多？
Is this not? Does this low-key not look like AI?
这段时间我感觉我喜欢上你了，你对我有好感吗？
Not the hug and muffling the mic,
再
bro.
回答我吧，我先回家了，明天见。
It is AI? Yeah.
小兰，
Wait, the guy has been?
我昨天想了很久，
Wait.
我不能和你在一起。
Wait, you're right. It's AI
对我
bin.
也有好感的。
我有
How's
你
Flandre
的
look? Flandre's looked okay.
新年还不
Did you watch LCK? DNS pulling out the cinema now that they don't have a chance? I mean, when you don't have... Oh my god, it is AI bin. Ay.
Sacrifice all the brands and water for this shit.
Ay. What are we
Girl
watching?
Jackie Love, girl Zeus, girl Bin,
What are we watching,
girl
Kitty?
敷
Doran.
衍，我再也不和你讲了。
Bruh.
所以呢，这能说明什么？
Is that Xiao?
小兰的出现让我感觉我已经不喜欢扫帚了。
啊！你别开玩笑啊！7年的感情说不爱就不爱了。
我也没办法，反正就是。
What are we watching, bro? Dude, we're watching the hottest shit in LPL apparently.
我们什么都没做，只是
Ay.
他的出现让
Drama
我感觉
between the
另外一个
players.
Ay.
对不起。
But yeah, it's pretty common for like teams that are like struggling once the pressure's off. Like for
Yeah,
any
I don't
kind of
know how many
success, they
episodes
just
there are, but
they just
this
start
has been
performing.
all over my feed. 主播只能说最近的抖
well. Oh, thank you for
Precipice, baby.
thank you for that.
Look, JDG, they
oh my
were
God.
at their
Oh,
hottest
what the
last
hell
week.
happened
I get
to-
that their schedule was pretty easy, but they had got some
Sorry,
confidence. They got
I've
some
been
momentum.
gone for a
Now they're
little
running
while.
into
Oh,
this
Barry,
series, and they're like,
where-
hey, we needed to at least be
where did the
competitive
beard
to
come
show that
from?
we could still be at the top of the LPL. They have done more
Has-
than that. They had an opportunity to come back in game number 1. They just weren't able to seal it, and they just outplayed them in game number 2. I mean, level 3 just completely destroyed the game. So if they play like they
excuse
have
me.
throughout this series,
Excuse
they've
me,
got a
I
real
love it.
chance of winning this one.
Tabe got on his knees with, the mask still on, and he's like, guys, we have not beaten BLG since January. I need this like water, boys. Whatever you gotta do, let's get it done.
On the same day that AL almost loses to EDG, Tabe is like, boys, we gotta beat BLG. We gotta pick up this win. Trust me. Yeah, this is going to be a fun one. I think BLG have kind of been disrespecting JDG in a lot of these drafts. They've been going for a lot of aggressive, greedy picks. I liked their draft in game 2, but a lot of the things they love to play are off the board, and I'm curious to see if it just continues to be, aggressive in the way that it was last game.
I still feel like this is the absolute thesis of both of these teams. We get 2 games in a row where Knight is kind of smurfing and he's still getting these amazing solo kills. Like that game 1 Syndra where he's 1v3 in mid lane and he gets the kill anyway. I'm like, dude, what? Like that's just Knight magic there. And game 2, even in parts of game 1, we actually got to see JDG have some really competent
I need to go flip my food.
fights.
Shit.
So whether it's actually Billy that are making the mistakes or it's just the, BLG stands for a bad late game kicking in. Either way, it seems like I feel like we're still seeing regular season form of these 2 teams.
Definitely feels like a little bit of both. I think JDG are really smart in terms of where to capitalize. They're not scared to pull the trigger, which is something that I think I really like to see out of them. I will say, BLG's positioning in the back end of these games, not great. I mean, that soul fight in game 2 was horrendous from FLANDRE, just in the wrong place at the wrong time. He burned Meganar way too early into the fight. You've got, even in game number 1, when Viper and FLANDRE were just caught out under the mid lane turret trying to protect it, up 5,000 gold, and they just give a 3,000 gold swing back over to JDG. These are the kinds of mistakes you cannot be making if you're a team like BLG in the back end of these games. Luckily, I think, we're going into game 3. You're hopeful that they're not going to have as bad of an early game, and maybe they're going to actually be able to get a lead and snowball like they like to do.
All right, game 3 to end out the first day of week number 4. We're going to still probably see a little bit of mid-bans, especially from JDG, but it seems like the focus going forward is really going to be on top side. I think the fact that Vi has stayed on the ban table for the entire series has been pretty interesting, and we'll see what our 2 top laners are cooking, because so far I feel like we've gotten some of the more classic FLANDRE picks. I know it's his first day, but I know also that Danny is a guy that really wants to lean on his individual prowess from his players.
I mean, that's the thing, right? We've been asking all series long, are they just going to stick to the kinds of styles that they were going with Wenbo? Do they feel like they can explore a little bit more when it comes to FLANDRE? Do they want him to play tanks like he was on AL? Do they want him to play strong side and get counter pick in a draft like, he was doing throughout the early parts of his career? There are just so many ways that this could go, and game 3 is going to tell us a lot. Notably, we're going back to these mid lane bans. 5 mid lane bans in first rotation in game 1. We're getting the Lock, the Ryze, and the Orianna off the board again, on top of the fact that Syndra, Akali, Cass, Ryze, all of them are off the board. Not a ton of options, but Nefiri is left up as a carry for Shun, and they want to stick to that.
Wow, Nefiri coming through. Now, Nefiri without some of her pairings does worry me a little bit. There's no Ryze, there's no Cassiopeia, and the things of the sort. So, Syndra as well being taken away. We'll see what BLG are going to be pairing. And for JDG, I still think you have a lot of options, not only for Jinja, but for Gala and Vampire, who I think have really, really found their footing. This split especially, just play strong laning pairs with each other.
Completely agree. I mean, what got that game out of control in the previous game was getting a big lead onto the Xayah Rakan and then using Gala and Vampire to move around the map. It was a very split 2 kind of playstyle from them, and they were essential last week. Gala was excellent in their, recuperation week. Was not very good, I would say, in the first couple weeks, but he was really good last week, and they need to capitalize on that success. Viper is very crucial towards how BLG want to play, getting a strong 2v2 lane, especially with no Lucian Milio to take here, because of Fearless is very good.
Zig Shen, perhaps?
Zig seems like it's going to be the answer.
I don't know about it though.
Getting that locked in,
I feel like Honor's going to play Shen.
With some of the 2v2.
Seems
I'm worried
complete
about
dog
the
shit.
lane. Not to say that Viper and On have been
Maybe
weak,
it's a Pyke game?
With a Ashe Seraphine, if you make a slight misstep or you use the Satchel Bomb in the wrong
Could be
way,
a Pyke game.
You pop Ghost on the Ashe and you just get ran down. So BLG seemingly looking towards wanting to not only play the map at large, but also still have access to things like the Shen, who are going to be really, really pivotal in the 2v2.
Yeah, and I think notably here, On has played Karma and Milio in the first 2 games. These are not roamers. These are not champions that are going to be as active in terms of creating for BLG. This is what On does. He picks Shen, and he's a creator for the rest of the map. I think this is going to be a much more comfortable situation, even if the lane matchup isn't quite as good. Viper Ziggs is very good. It's been good for more than just This
Like-
AP Mage meta, he's always been a big Ziggs player, going back to his
Galio
time
now
in
has to get
BLGK,
banned by
so
BLG de
makes a lot of
facto.
sense. Nocturne, by far the highest priority jungler left up on the board. Really the only power jungler, I would say, that is left and available to take.
Let's see if Junjia does
wanna go
anything
for
creative.
something like a Trundle. Certainly as a matchup into Nefiri can create a lot of havoc. Even just turning the lights off and pairing that up with an Ashe and Seraphine ult combo really makes it a lot more difficult for the Shen and even the Ziggs to play.
So going into the second phase of draft, right now, BLG, I think, have some okay champions for the players that are going to be piloting them, but I don't think they have a super
What do they wanna
cohesive
get rid
draft
of?
identity quite yet.
Yeah.
Whereas JDG, you can go hunting, level 6s, you can send this Ziggs going to bottom lane. Nocturne also prevents the Shen from getting his ultimate off. I think there's a lot of tools that JDG still have access to, especially if they're going to be playing a shorter range
Maybe a
composition
Silas
to
ban is in
leverage
order?
something like a Seraphine. So what do
I
you actually
completely
want
A
to see
Silas
from
ban
BLG?
could be in order.
Yeah, I mean, right now,
they
what
ban TF
matters the
first.
most, in my opinion, is absolutely going to be
I think
this
a Silas
sniffing
ban
thing.
is in
I
order
mean,
by
look at
JDG
the
here.
amount of bans that are coming through.
Especially if
We
you
already
want-
had all of
I'm
the
assuming they want
priority in the
Galio and
first
then
ban phase, this
Xiaoshu
lock,
to
this
get
Ryze,
counter
this
pick here.
Orianna. Now we're going to have even more chances to take away some of these priority picks. If someone
I mean,
has
maybe they
tempo in
want
that mid lane
Silas.
matchup,
Silas is
that's
pretty
gonna
good for
matter a
them
lot.
too.
Who you pair up with Nefiri is going to matter a lot.
mean, they did
BLG, I
ban
think,
Blanc.
needs a little bit more damage coming in on their side. I'm trying to think of like who would even
Okay,
be
there
a
you
great
go.
option.
Yeah,
there.
I mean,
Maybe
I think this is
something-
just the most
I don't
obvious
know,
Galio
like an
angle in the
Ahri
world.
could
BLG
potentially
need.
be good to dive the backline and
I
create
think
some havoc.
I think Galio is just too
Take
powerful. I
some
think they
ways
should
of
ban it. I
option,
don't even
pair
think they
up
should
with
try and run a
Nocturne on
counter
the
pick
other
into
side,
it.
which I'm sure that JDG are going to be looking for. But with the Silas band as well, that would have been pretty solid to take some of these ultimates away. You're losing a bit of the, I guess, options.
And
that
that
you
also
set
just
up for
removes
yourself
the
at
extra
beginning of this
global.
draft.
Are we
when you're
ever
playing Shen.
afraid of Nefiri Annie as this team? That's kind of what I'm looking
I-
for as BLG. There's Annie ban. Okay,
Yeah.
never mind.
Ah.
My worry with the Annie is just like, man, your Nefiri has to get fed. Like if
Well,
you're picking Annie, like
there's
you are
so
you
many
have
mids
one
out. I
carry,
think
you have
Galio
one
is
way to
just
win
really
the game,
playable.
especially because I don't think FLANDRE has been
The
as
worst case, you
consistent as
deal
you
with,
would want
like-
in this series up until this point. Putting him on a carry would be a little bit scary on the top
Yone?
side, at least in that situation. I think
Basically?
you want Knight on something that can take over the game, even if it's not as
That's like
well,
worst case? Aurora.
of a fit
Okay.
as maybe something like an Annie would be for this comp.
But
It's gonna be
see,
the Aurora as the lock-in. You want that dive buddy with Nocturne. It's a lot of priority on the side of JDG.
Almost 100% that it's going over to Honkyu, but
Could
if
get
FLANDRE
flipped.
picks something a little squishy,
I actually still
you
think
can lean
Galio is
over.
really good. I
think
think
that
something like
JDG
Galio Yone would be
overwhelmingly
crazy
now have
here.
a ton of pick potential just between this Nocturne Aurora
Ari?
and then we add
Sure.
alongside this bottom lane, and it just feels like 1 to 2 members are slightly out of position. You get blown up. I also see a lot of strong early lanes here for
I
Nocturne to be
do
able to bully.
wonder,
so
depending on what they go
this is
top,
seeming
because
like
like
it is
Xiaoshu
moving
could
more and more of the
technically take this
direction of
Aurora
JDG,
top
at least from a draft perspective, looking
if
strong.
the matchup
Now
looks
we've got
good enough.
Knight's Ari. We say that a lot about like Knight
It is
as
Shen top.
champion, but this seems like has
It is gonna be Shen
to
top.
me anyway, the answer into Aurora.
Okay,
after
we are gonna get
plenty
Pyke in
of
the end.
Aurora nerfs.
And notably, we are getting some hovers here, and it is
Yeah,
gonna
we're
be
gonna
the
get
lock on
Pyke in the end.
Alistar,
Okay,
so the
nice.
Shen
I love
is gonna be
Alistar
the
here.
flex onto the top side.
I
for
love
FLANDRE.
Alistar here.
He was the Shen player at the start of
Now, if
this,
Xiaoshu's a
this
G,
split,
he'll lock in
terms
Gangplank.
of, like, when you
I'm
go
just
back to
saying.
some of the
If
previous
Xiaoshu is a
tournaments that were
G,
being played
they
even towards the
go-
end of split number 2,
If
FLANDRE
Xiaoshu is a
was
G, they go
really spamming
Gangplank for the
Shen
love of the
and solo
game.
queuing
I don't think
in
they will.
competitive action.
It's just a
He's
Jax
very
game, but
comfortable on the
like,
champ. It's going to be the Jax as the answer. This is a
unironically,
classic answer
it's
to
a
Shen
pretty
on
good
the top
Gangplank
side,
game.
but it certainly creates a much more
good lane
open
matchup.
game state. This Alistar actually has a little more
Yeah,
priority,
diving
in my opinion,
global.
than the Shen, and you're going to have some more macro opportunity on the top side. So while I do believe that you're going to have
Would've
some
been good.
priority in the early game for BLG, I think JDG is going to be happier than they've been really throughout this entire series with the way the draft went.
All right,
So
ads are
yeah,
gonna run
you
on
get
Twitch just for a
plenty
minute and a
of
half.
ability for a champion like
Also,
Aurora to
Cybonics,
get
really
her
good call on the
passive
Shen
off
flex, man.
multiple times.
Really
That's
good
where a
call.
lot of her strength is. And then side lanes, you have 2 incredibly competent side laners who are going to have infinite map hacks. You're going to have a Nocturne behind you, and then at any point you're like, hey guys, I don't know where their support or jungle are. Gala's like, don't worry, brother. I got you hooked up. Here's a hawk shot going across the map. We're going to be able to control all the vision. I think BLG not only need to be decisive, but they also need to be incredibly quick, which sometimes can backfire, especially when I look at their composition, and I do think it's a little low damage. Getting Ziggs bombs to lands are not super consistent DPS in my mind.
You've got so much pressure on Shun in this game on the Nefiri. I mean, he is being given the keys to the kingdom in this game. He has to be able to step up. He had a bad early game. In game number 2, got invaded and never really was able to recover on the Lee Sin. He's got to be better on this Nefiri champion, the best carry jungler in the entire meta right now. You talked about the Ashe Seraphine being such a problem in the mid to late game. That lane is an issue. Ziggs is going to be left isolated because the Alistar is going to be roaming a lot of that early game. Ashe and Seraphine are going to be a massive problem. And we've seen what happens when JDG and Jinja in particular put a lot of tempo and pressure onto the bottom side of the map. Gala is in good form, and Gala can carry. Ashe is going to be in a great spot. Aurora is going to be in a great spot. JDG have the tools. We'll see if they can pull off the upset.
Come on, Suzhou, let's come alive for game number 3, and we've already got a level 1.
Lul. Enjoy, Junjia. Alright, let's see if we get any funky pathing business.
Come on, man. Where's my JDG hype? I need some JDG hype. Like, I've been waiting for it all night. I would have thought that with the win, they would have been in a better spot. Viper gonna take a tree. He's in danger here.
Wow.
Viper, no, brother. I told you, if you miss an ability level 1, the ghost gets popped there. Massive chunk onto Viper, who's gonna have to spam all of his health pots just to get back to even.
It's low-key Jova.
It's gonna be a single beat drop.
Oh, this lane is
empowered,
Jova.
But I look at this mini-map, K-Man. I'm seeing vision into Shun's jungle so they can track where he is. I see really defensive vision placement as well on the top side just to prevent any early game shenanigans. It is an Fury.
There's also actually, like, what's really great about this
by most champs right now.
That's absolutely the case.
Is that JDG have now covered for the invade that they
We've
did.
definitely seen some action from these two junglers, but both should theoretically be relatively stable in the early parts of the game. I'm going to burn the heal.
And then they put the ward on Grump as well to cover it. This is a really intelligent warding, level 1.
Big. When we think back to Gala,
this is so smart, actually. JDG's level 1 here is incredible.
Seraphine was a huge bot lane for this team. They're going to need to once again be a big bot lane as they continue to ice these two out of a lot of XP on the bot side.
Early recall coming in for Shun here, as we are just getting some amazing trades for JDG. Good burst here already early on. Something about the Orion. Oh my days! On Q. That is a 25 HP left on Knight. Flashes down. He's gonna have to teleport back. And I just look at Shun's map state, and we're gonna continue to keep on going.
There was no tower.
There was no tower Satchel bomb. That doesn't do anything.
No!
Vampire had 0 damage.
9 HP.
That is 10 HP now on. So 2 players from BLG live with double-digit HP. No first blood, but functionally here, K-Man, that is 600 gold going over to Jindong Gaming.
Absolutely massive, and Junja is now here in the mid lane. No flash on this Ahri if they want to go for a play.
All right, Junja, show me what you got. We got flash, we got fears. Do we got a first blood on our hands? It is against Knight in the mid lane. We are trying to tank all of the turret shots. First blood over to Hongq.
Yeah, and they're going to get chased down here. Shun's going to have some tempo. The flash coming through. Hongq, the sacrifice.
When Mazel leaves is when we get the most disgusting early game of all time. 3 minutes, 2 kills, functionally almost 2 more if maybe that bot lane play had happened a little bit sooner. It is a good trade here for JDG, right? Getting that kill early on into mid feels nice. If we're going to continue this narrative about Shun having to be the carry, a kill plus double scuttle feels like you're set up for success.
Definitely a good spot to be in if you are
I really don't know why
Junja
forced this.
And we talked about how important that Fury is. They're not going to win this game without that gold. They're definitely not going to be in a good spot.
Big time desperation.
They are losing basically everywhere else, as we predicted. He's going to be making his way topside. Junja in darkness. Shun is over the wall. They don't see him.
They didn't even care. They said, look, we just need to get mid priority because Junja, if you don't have mid, you cannot move into our Raptors here. A lot of damage going onto Knight, and they're completely separated from each other. The jungler of BLG may have accidentally gotten his mid laner taken down. That's a kill going over to Jinja, and now Shun is going to take some damage back onto Hongq.
What the hell is going on,
That's going to be his Raptors gone. That might be more of his camps, and then I look at the states of the lanes here. Bot lane is getting shoved in. No priority from mid, and Shen is just going even right now with this matchup. JDG are getting everything they could have possibly wanted here.
Oh god, it's a horror.
Early game masterclass once again from JD Gaming, and what we have in this one is something we have not had in any of the other games up until this point. A lead in the mid lane for JDG. Hongq has really struggled throughout this series up until this point to even stay neutral
scared to get up.
Knight. Getting solo killed and getting pushed down.
I'm really scared to get up.
Now he's got a free kill. Knight's down a bunch of farm. He's going to be a 5.
I need to go and get my food out the oven.
To play this out. For the first time, JDG actually have pressure through the middle of the map, which means that they should have even more control over these objectives they were already doing a good job of controlling with this Chem Dragon on the map now.
Oh, you're going to move. If they decide to go for Dragon right now and you press tab, Honkyu has ultimate. He has to be the one to hold
Knight's
this wave
roaming
right
at level
now.
5.
The damage difference between these two. It is an alternator versus an amp tome and a dark
insta ghost
seal.
pop.
0 attempt.
Yallah.
That is going to be the ghost pop by Gala. Just any kind of vision. As soon as
Where's
Ari
Bin?
shows,
He
that's going to feel
benched
like
himself.
you're under threat. But you're level 5. Knight is now down an entire level versus
He benched
Honkyu.
himself and
He'll
low-key,
equalize some of this by
BLG
getting
just
this
picked
wave,
up, like,
but very easily we could see JDG
arguably
move into
the
this bot
second
side
best
and play for this early
to like
Dragon.
worst case 4th best
Yeah,
top laner in the league.
It's just going to be a little bit of an exchange here. On's potentially in danger against Satchel
Like-
to keep his support alive, but you're absolutely right. There's just not really a lot Knight
It's
can do
pretty
right
unfair,
now.
I'm not gonna
700
lie.
gold in a full level is insurmountable in the early game. This is the benefit of picking Aurora into Ahri. I like the Ahri from a comp perspective because you want Knight on something that can carry. This is always going to be a difficult lane matchup. Once you burn that flash early off of that great trade, you can just continue to punish it over and over and over again. Ben basically just has to be around the mid lane, sacrificing his own tempo just to keep his Ahri safe. They are going to be pinging down onto the crab on the top side, but Jax is also making his way down here.
I mean, it's fine. Shen can always
Be a
just
3-on-3.
insta-clip.
Nocturne's gonna go mid. If he takes one minion, he gets level 6 here. That's what he's doing right now. He's gonna hit this mini wave. He gets
Yep.
his ultimate. This is a massive trade now here.
They don't want to play.
Shun doesn't have ultimate,
bit
but
too
they're
long.
already on the
Crab
objective.
went towards the top side.
Very
Okay, there shouldn't be a
cheeky,
fight.
I
I'm
think.
gonna go
If
get
they
my
got
food.
that timing, that could have been a big win.
I'm gonna go and get my
for
food.
Jin
There
Don
shouldn't be a
Gaming.
fight. Hey,
Honkyu is
click
just
back.
completely spacing Knight
Click
out of
back.
mid lane, even with On sitting here trying to protect the minion wave.
This Ahri cannot play the game. I mean, she is completely zoned out of this entire wave. There is no way for her to be able to step up here. Jinja has all the tempo in the world. I believe it's a smite fight going on here. No smite for either of these two, so it's just going to be a take. And we're getting the trigger pulled.
Oh, it's the submarine. We all live in it, and it's a blue and pink one. Junja gets taken down for another kill here for BLG, and they're going to continue to chase for more. Honkyu has no mana. The Darkened Daggers will sink into the backside of Honkyu, and it'll just be a single kill trade, but a lot of turret plates taken by Xiaoshu on the top side.
Xiaoshu definitely going to get something out of that. I really like the proactivity from BLG to make sure that they use the Shen ult before the Nocturne ult actually gets, picked up. You got to be proactive if you are Flandre in this game. On stepping up heavily.
On?
Oh?
Aura, bro. He just canceled
True.
Honkyu's recall. That is high levels of aura right here for the support.
You got it. That's gotta be it. He's like, who needs Flash, man? I've got Spellbook.
That
Who
was
needs
insta.
Flash? I'm Alistair. Why would
That
I
was
ever
insta
need
of
to
a
play
fight.
this? Arrow's gonna be coming up here.
Oh, wait, Knights, no! He flashes into the cross map arrow of Gala. A kill going over to Vampire.
Knight is being destroyed in the mid lane. This is an absolute targeting of the best player in the world right now by JDG. They are funneling resources into taking out this Ahri, and it is working. That's Grubs going over to JDG. Dragon has spawned on the map, and BLG are not really going to be able to prioritize it as aggressively as they would want. At least for now, we'll see if Shun just wants to try to rush this because of the bot lane priority. Even if it is a trade, so much going in favor of JDG is they could potentially make their way down here.
Well, they can make their way for
Yeah,
sure.
Nocturne doesn't have his ultimate, but we're seeing mass movements now. Good control from BLG to play to the bottom side quadrant, play in the tri-brush. I don't think JDG will get here in time. You already see that Jinja, he said, yep, lost cause. We got the 3 grubs. I'm going to take my Raptors, cycle my bottom lane camps. I don't know what I'm more surprised from, K-Man. I'm thinking, hey, BLG, Knight is getting completely dumpstered in mid. He's getting a lot of focus. Or the fact that we just haven't seen a replay whatsoever here in this game.
Well, what time do we have to see a replay? We gotta keep
True.
the action going. Speaking of the devil, oh, we get the cinematic camera. Yes, the arrow from downtown, from the bot lane. It looks like, oh, it's gonna hit. Just kidding.
was out
Knight
of
is
it.
going to flash. Yeah, he was out of it, and then he flashes
Horror.
back in. Look, Knight
Absolute
struggled in
horror.
week number 3. I don't think anybody is going to be arguing against that. He's gonna be in danger again here as he gets ulted. Oh, the charm.
Seems like he's
gonna be fine
gonna
because
get
of that.
away. Yeah, does get out. Kindle Gem is nice. It's a bunch of HP. It's a little bit of ability haste. It does turn into a fight around Raptors here.
Oh, Encore?
I'm gonna believe
like
that
this gonna-
On has the aura. I'm gonna believe that he has the aura. That's an aura loss. Okay, I thought he was gonna live. That time, maybe a little too much CC stacked on top of him.
Paranoia mid onto Knight again.
Wow.
They are just abusing this mid lane matchup over and over again. They're farming Knight for gold in the mid lane.
Bro,
No other team has
he's
been able to do this
1-4-1,
consistently throughout 2026.
67 CS at 10
what
minutes.
a look from JDG right now, man.
This guy is in hell.
Yeah, 1,000 gold up in the mid lane.
This
30
guy is in
CS
hell.
up here on Knight, who is sitting at 67 at 10.5 minutes. And now it's a completed rocket belt here for Hongq.
And look at
They're just going to
Shun's
have all
inventory,
those
by the way.
additional stats while he is still waiting to finish his first item. 3 players
Realize
on
it?
top side
Okay.
here. A short change on the taunt. Xiaoshu tries to use the counter-strike to give him the damage resistance based on spells, but they're just going to go
Shun.
for the
Oh,
dive
no, Shun.
anyway. He
Oh,
lives with
no.
one more auto attack, the
Ah.
grass proc. That alongside all the lack of damage from Shun and the Alistar means that no kill is going to be taken. It'll be a flash rated and now more pressure across all the sides of the map.
Yeah, Shun used ultimate changing well, so we can't even make counterplay scores for the next couple of minutes. Everything's just going poorly right now for BLG. JDG have full control. This tower is in real danger of dropping before 15 minutes, which would be devastating for BLG's macro to be able to try and salvage some of these river plays. Look at the wards right now on the map. Everything is blue. JDG have sights of the sides of the map. They
Should
can
be
do whatever
fixed.
they want, even with no objectives.
It's an issue with OBS.
So JDG, they
And
didn't get the
Windows
first dragon, but
audio.
I'm seeing 2 of their solo lane
Because I'm on an
quests
old version of
already done.
Windows.
That's more experience in top lane and just more damage
Still not on
in the
Windows
tier
11.
3 boots once Hongq goes for it. Then I look across the other side of the map. We've given over those 3 grubs, so now Jax is extremely problematic later on into this game.
Okay.
And there's not really a dragon stacking
And there's
angle.
no damage.
Hongq loses half of his HP, but he's already chugging pots, which, by the way, you know, already feeling pretty good, and he just has so much mobility with this rocket belt as well.
Well, I mean, how do you take advantage of Aurora? Right? Like, if you're going to try and get this shutdown, like, how are you ever supposed to be in a spot where Hongq is going to be taking advantage of? Junja, protected by his bot lane here, is going to get spotted, but TP is coming down onto the bot side as well here from the Aurora. They're just going to try and play for tempo. No objective to even fight over. They're just going to be pressuring out this entire bot quadrant to get this vision. Going to be even more pressure on the bot lane turret as well. I mean, JDG can just throw away basically any resource to get the tempo that they need right now, and they're going to be able to walk their way for free.
To the untrained eye, they might be, you know, spamming some emotes in Twitch chat right now, saying, what was that TP from Aurora? But if you know who you're playing against, for BLG, every potential objective fight is a fight you're going to have to take. If they're going to be fighting over bottom side scuttle, there's potentially going to be 4 people there. Aurora just needs to be there, so JDG thought there was maybe going to be able to have something happen. Could have also preempted a potential lane swap here, considering bot lane's already completed a quest. And now comes, I think, a really important fight, whether or not BLG are going to move into this next dragon with a 3,000 gold deficit. If they can get some kills on the Viper, that bot lane quest can start to eat away at this gold lead.
I think notably when you look at the items as well, the gold lead's pretty big, but it's not a huge difference right now in terms of active combat power. You are going to definitely be favored if you're JDG, but if there was ever a fight that BLG needed to win, it's very much coming up. This dragon fight is either going to determine the entire game, or it's just going to be a clean JDG take. The problem for BLG, they have no lanes to actually play through. That means they have no tempo in this river. As this spawns, Nocturne's going to be able to walk up, and it's going to be really difficult to re-engage if Nocturne turns out the lights and Shen can't even get to the fight.
Vampire has 2 wards left in his inventory, and most of it has been taken
YouTube
back
stream?
from
Are
BLG.
you guys there?
They've got wards on their
I just
side of the
looked over to
jungle.
the
So
side
it looks
and
like
said it
right
was-
now
there was no
BLG,
Deo
they're
going
going
over
to
there.
just sit Viper in mid, let him sit under this turret, use his ultimate from long range, while the rest of Billy attack from the bottom side, attack from this tribe rush. Looking for a pick onto Hongq, that's headbutt first. Xiaoshu's here as well. If there's ever a Nocturne ultimate, that means Shen cannot join. FLANDRE would have to preemptively join one of his targets. I think the calculus right now is get these plates. Let's try to eat away at this gold lead.
Yeah, I mean, on pop the Alistar ultimate immediately,
Okay,
and
looks fine.
once that's done, you have no front line. There's no way to re-engage. They were worried about that Nocturne ultimate. I think they would have needed to preemptively send FLANDRE down, and so they're just like, okay, I guess we have to give over this dragon. I think they're okay with that, considering the fact that it's not stacked up just yet. At least it's a little bit of gold onto the Shen, who could make a difference, but if JDG is going to continue to get a bunch of things for free throughout a majority of this mid-game, well, now you're looking at a situation where they feel pretty good going into the back end of the game. Ashe is starting to get a very strong lead on the bottom side, and if Gala continues to play the way he has, he's going to be able to dominate and take over.
It's just really
not
strange.
Nocturne and Aurora that are going to be falling off, so, you know, JDG going to feel pretty happy about that trade, I think.
Side lanes, gotta be careful. I have a hard time imagining that we're going to continue to send players towards Knight and Shen, even if it is a Nocturne. But you have so much ability to play make whenever Ashe and Seraphine go into Fog of War that I think it's really tough for BLG to overextend. If we're ever going to see them hit turrets, it has to be with multiple members on one side, potentially even them bringing over Viper, but that doesn't seem like that's going to be the case. He's stuck in mid right now. Shun still recalling. Ahri and Shen could teleport for this. This seems like a lost cause. It seems like On is the only person here. All right, K-Man, we're fighting. It's an objective. We gotta keep going. Shun gets hit with the ultimate. That's 2 of them on top of the big old bad dog. And somehow, BLG forced JDG out of the pit. The Herald still goes over to JDG. It does not matter that they were the second ones in. Now
that was really fucked up. I actually think they might have, that might have been a bug, you know.
Run down by 2 members of JDG.
I actually think BLG should pause.
All of BLG are trying to retreat.
I think BLG should pause.
Is trying to get away.
I'm so dead
serious. 2
serious.
kills and the Herald in a very, very weird-looking fight for Jingdong Gaming.
Hold on.
Is it insane to say that that's probably the best that it could have gone for BLG in the sense that they were trying to get JDG
I
out
actually
of the
think
pit.
BLG
They
just
had
got
the
shagged a bit.
chance to be able to take the Herald and they lost the fight after. They just don't have the combat power at this point in the game. Shun is certainly not ahead enough to be able to walk in, eat an Ashe Arrow, eat an Encore, and be able to keep fighting. It's really well done.
I'm just blind.
To see from the bot lane of JDG, and once this fight
look at the replay.
it's impossible for BLG to be able to reconnect. Once again, On
look when Shun smites. I'm pretty sure he smites the Herald.
The moment he uses his invulnerability,
like well below 1.4k, and the smite just doesn't work.
Obviously, the Stand United comes through, but if your main jungler is going to get
that was 1.3. I'm gonna go and look. I'm gonna go and look in slow mo. The smite just doesn't work. Is that how it works on?
Gorgeous stuff from Xiaoshu as well. You know,
I know it's in the middle of healing.
In the past. Junjun and Xiaoshu happy to take care of
I know it's in the middle of healing.
BLG while the bot lane tries to
but did the smite come down before?
You get these split fights that are a little chaotic. JDG's comp for
okay, it did. It just barely did. The smite came in at 1.6.
Extremely tragic.
I would still,
bro. Like the Herald is in the middle of resetting, and he goes to smite
it was a tick
and the
late.
health
The
just
smite
barely ticks back over while it's recovering because the leash on the aggro ended up falling. That is nuts. That is such a minor interaction that ends up. I would say that ends up kind of going in favor of JDG.
Hold on, Korean chat. I don't speak Korean.
The Herald, that fight still feels
Give me a second,
pretty
Korean
good.
chat. Hold
now
on.
they're going to use this Herald not as a battle.
Hold on, Korean chat.
I've
got you,
bro.
bro.
Get them 2 turrets here, mid-tier 1. Now a play onto Shun. Viper flashes out of the way of an Ashe ultimate to save himself, but he condemns his jungler in the same way that the darkness is encroaching on BLG. It'll be a 1-for-1 trade.
See why those
that is a kill and a hell of a lot of plates on mid lane tier 2.
I think the darkness was consuming Junja's thought process as well as he dives in for the 1-for-1 trade.
He saw a second kill, brother.
He saw it. He had to go for it. I get it, man. You press the Nocturne ultimate. You might as well use it by that point. But, you know, you can get away with those plays. Look at the gold lead.
Wasn't that Santorin smite? Because it's actually funny.
JDG. Not only
people mention it in both YouTube and Twitch.
Team, it's perfectly distributed across
that was actually like
a for JDG.
Memory serves me right, a 100% bug.
And bounds stronger than their opposition at
and
the current moment.
They ended up changing how Baron regen works because of it, right?
Yet. We've just been taking skirmishes. 18 minutes in. Xiaoshu going to continue to push this in. Could be, I guess, a target on the top side, but there's no play to be made on this Jax unless they overcommit.
I think Gala's been super smurfing, even if he doesn't have a Mondo gold lead over his opponent. I think we got to see a microcosm of what this Ashe can provide. Throws a hawk shot, spots out On before they can even rotate. BLG,
that's right, I leveled
for what
up.
it's worth,
Yes.
they're going to use the power of the Ziggs.
Yes, that's right, I leveled up so it gained HP.
Charge, get themselves some objective bounties. That turret is going to feel really nice. Just trying to squeeze whatever juice is left in the fruit and get what they can, because this is a game that is getting out of control incredibly quickly.
Look, we can say it how it is. Like, at this point, BLG need to hope that JDG makes some mistakes. Now, the lucky thing for BLG is JDG is very happy to make a ton of mistakes. They have been doing that all year long in these good game states, but it is JDG's map to lose at this point as they continue to take away resources from the side of BLG. I really don't even know where you would put your pressure at this point. It's really interesting to watch this Jax just continue to get so much tempo on the other side, because you look at the BLG comp, who is matching this guy? Like, who is ever going to be actually answering this Jax in a side lane?
Who can kill this Jax?
As well? Right. He's untouchable. This guy is like legit unbeatable at this point in the game. We know Xiaoshu is going to be really good in that side laning role. It's what he's done at his best. It's a free dragon right now as well. For Junjo, who's just going to be able to walk up and take this. There's just nothing BLG can do to contest.
I just compare the inventories of these champions, and hey, look, being down half an item as Shen into Jax, that's completely fine in my opinion. Being on parity with your opponent when you're a bot laner is fine. Look at Knight's inventory. This guy is in mega poverty land. Like, he's got an Aether Wisp in his inventory at 21 minutes. I look at Honkyu, he's finished a Shadow Flame. The quality of the inventories is just not at all the same between our two opponents here. And this would be a massive win for JDG. Again, they have not won a series against BLG since January.
Bro.
Yeah, and they've
Viper's
not looked
inventory is
super
pissing me off
competitive
as
in
well.
those other series. It was really just the upper finals, not even the grand finals in split number 2, or split number 1, where they even looked like they were on the same level. Like, this has been a hugely BLG favored matchup all year long. And you talk about Knight being in poverty, as you said, he's 3 levels down side laning against a Jax. Like, this guy is doomed. There is no point in the rest of this game where he's ever going to feel comfortable. He is just, like, doomed to side lane control, picking up waves, and hope he hits a charm in a team fight. The damage profile is entirely on the back of Ziggs right now. That's not a comfortable place to be if you're BLG, and you're gonna try and look for a pick here, but you've got the spell shield on Junja.
They just have way too much HP, they've got way too much gold, and it looks like they've got a little too much aura for BLG to really deal with much of it. Charm goes wide, and even if it did land, it would have been a lot to be invested just to pick off this Aurora. So, we talked a lot about BLG's, inability or lack thereof of damage. For JDG, what are the steps for them to be able to close this game out? Because, again, we've said there's a proclivity sometimes to throw. That is mostly true of all of our LPL teams. But how do we want to see them clean this out to make us feel confident that this team is going to be a contender?
You highlighted it well in Draft All. This team has incredible pick potential and side lane control. Their ability to play for these turrets is gigantic. If they continue to just pull aggro and attention away from the Jax or away from the Aurora, they're going to continue to get a lot on the map. And growing that gold lead over and over again is going to give them even more vision in the enemy quadrant. That's going to make it even easier for them to grab Barons and Dragons and really start to play for these late game buffs that are going to easily win them the game. If BLG overstay and overpush in one specific area, you have a Nocturne ultimate that can capitalize. It's even harder for BLG to find their way back in. I just want to see them continue to utilize this Aurora and this Jax in the side lanes that they've been in.
Dude, it's a
it's
level
really not
13
series.
Nocturne versus level 8 Alistar. If I am on, I'm extremely scared. But again, holds his nerve there. He doesn't have his flash up. He has exhaust thanks to his spellbook. He pops a ghost to get himself out of there, but doesn't even use the ultimate. I love all of this vision that JDG have been pushing towards the top side of the map. It seems like we're getting a fight here that is Stand United alongside his jungler to try to hunt out Junja, but didn't even find that kill. He gets over the wall, and now Xiaoshu might have the most demonic flank of all time on a Jax. It is everybody from BLG walking in, and nothing occurs from this counter-strike, but they get that kill onto On. All the same, Knight and Shun by themselves in the tri-brush, but it is no damage, and it is no sweat off of JDG's back here. Teleport from Ziggs to get out of this one, and the Baron to be started after an incredible team fight.
JD Gaming are dismantling the defending champions of the LPL right now. It is a slaughter in this fight. Perfectly played by everyone. I wish the Counter-Strike was a little bit flashier because I was ready to pop off in this moment. But BLG tried to see some sort of angle. Once again, they're trying to proactively use their Stand United to set their team up. But the problem is, you were right, Alk. There is no damage. There's no way for them to break through this Nocturne at this point. You certainly can't burst him down. Honkyu's positioning is so aggro, and you are just funneling them into this tunnel right where Jax is. I wish Xiaoshu was a little bit earlier on the Counter-Strike, but ultimately it didn't really matter. Honkyu was doing so much damage at this point in the game that the Aurora can just obliterate them in these close quarters. Anyways, just a massive gap everywhere, but specifically for this mid laner. He has popped off as Xiaoshu cleans up the fight. They're going to get the Baron. 8.5k gold lead. They are dominating right now.
No, I mean, it's because
And
the
now they're
Nocturne
going to get the
ults up, right?
Dragon. They are going to potentially stack 2 Mountain Drakes.
The ult looks worse because we have
Gold
God
just
vision.
continues to slip away.
But he probably
and
thinks they're
JDG
still kiting upwards,
continue
but the
to make
comms aren't
their
there to
climb.
obviously
The
combat.
excuse last week was it's an easy schedule. You play against LGD and against EDG. This should not be a fine. They're looking onto Gala. That is 3 members using every spell in the book. And maybe that book just has all the right answers in it. Knight is going forward with the Spirit Rush.
Hold on now.
They can continue to find more. This is right before the objective. That is an engage onto Honkyu and a shutdown going over to Knight. 2 kills for this Ahri, and Vampire is going to be the topping that ends this play.
Hey,
3
hey, hey,
kills.
hey.
The Dragon going over to BLG.
It's a big mistake from Gala, who is just way too far forward. You can see that flash. That's very much still available. He gets hit by the charm, and for as much as we've talked about Ahri being completely
hold.
out of the game, Ahri still is a charm. Like, she absolutely still is a threat to be able to pick off these immobile carries, and I just don't think JDG respected that. Once Nocturne Ultimate was blown on that fight as well, it's really
BLG is
easy
winning
to
this?
continue to collapse because there's no way that you can punish the backline. Xiaoshu,
I hate to say it.
here, but he's going to be entirely safe.
Oh,
It's pretty
Viper.
much impossible to
Okay,
be able to
fine.
pick this off, and that is a Dragon in favor of BLG to at least stop the stacking.
I hate to say it, guys.
See if Xiaoshu
Everybody
is gonna
hold.
burn it out, though.
You are
Gonna
not killing
bring
this
6
guy.
Over. He is level 17, guys. That is Grandmaster's Might being popped at the very last second and a Seeker's Arm Guard to keep him alive. Look at how long it takes for him to go down, and he's still alive! A
my
3-man Counter-Strike! What is going on, BLG? You just
I-
overextended underneath this turret. Xiaoshu is gonna finally go down, but it has taken all of BLG, and it might have just ripped away their chances of coming back in this game. Stragglers, see you later, brother. No longer gonna be able to teleport out of this one. And a long-range ultimate. Gala just wanted
Well.
to say hi. Here's a postage stamp all the way from Suzhou.
That's why
pushing
you
on the
buy
bottom lane.
Zhonya's on Jax.
Jax has truly become unkillable. I mean, they finally
That fight
sealed
right there
the deal,
is
but
why
I
you
have
buy
never
Zhonya's on Jax.
seen anyone survive a 4v1 as long as Xiaoshu did there. Unbelievable stuff from JDG. They're going to crack the base open here. It was looking like a very questionable Baron power play that they were on, but at the end of the day, I guess if you try and dive Xiaoshu, he is going to make you pay. We get a replay of how this started in the first place. Gala
mean, it's
is
just a
just
really good
overextended.
pick.
It's a really good look here from Knight, and this is big proactivity. This is why you can never count him out on this champion, because he's constantly in the right spots. Junja, you know, having popped
Yeah, Honky
Paranoia
just does too
already
much.
really has no way to re-engage. The charm landing onto
Basically
Honky
invisible.
is huge because he has so
Basically
much of the
kind of
damage
prediction.
on
Obviously,
this
it could
fight
be
turn, but again, I gotta
Orbing
see
anyway.
a replay of this
Now,
Hulk, because this is just
Counter-Strike is
absurd.
early,
I cannot
well-timed initially.
feasibly believe
He's
that he
CC'd,
lived
he's
as long as
CC'd.
he did. That's
Zonya's
multiple ultimates. That
Zonya's
is
is the zigzag.
multiple members. He does
Taunted
block
up
the
his
Diggle
E.
with the
He couldn't get off
stopwatch,
before the taunt, but
at
then he
this point,
gets it
how
off
does he not
again.
die? He gets the Counter-Strike off
It's
here.
just so
He bursts
insane.
down Knight on his own. He basically solo kills him. I think he does end up solo killing him, and at this point, the fight is so far over, it's absurd. There's nothing you can even do. How do you outplay that? If you are BLG, it's a good look, but you're too far down to make it happen.
You know how we outplay that? We wait until next patch when they nerf Sundered Sky and hopefully take it out of the game.
True.
Because he lives with grass procs, Sundered Sky healing, and a whole lot of prayers. So
He does live because of Grasp. That's why Grasp is OP, man.
28 minutes.
Grasp
this
permanent
game
HP.
feels like JDG should be able to come out. But I think as longtime LPL fans, and especially as watching BLG for the last couple of years, you can almost never count these guys out, but this feels like it's going to be lights out here for them. They try to go in onto Knight. It shifts their focus onto On, who uses the Unbreakable Will to go forward.
Xiaoshu.
It seems like we're even getting Xiaoshu, who feels literally untouchable in these fights. Counter-Strike to
Who's
get
killing
right
that
in the
guy?
faces of BLG. A turret falling. The inhibitor is going to be next here. 3 grubs means that these turrets do not exist anymore. They don't have the objectives, guys. Do we have the spells from BLG?
Oh,
Maybe.
God. Wait
Honky
a
goes
second.
in for a fight. A massive
Wait a
engage
second.
from On.
Oh
Gets on
my
the 2
God.
members of JDG. They're getting the
Oh
shutdowns here
my
that they
God.
might have needed. Triple kill over to Viper. Fourth one being taken here.
Yo.
Double teleports
God.
from the
No,
laners
they double
of
TP
BLG.
to mid instead of
How
top.
much can they get from this play?
Oh, imagine they double TP to top.
They are going to pick up at least a little bit. Oh, how many throws in the base do I have to see today? We got multiple in the first series. We're getting another one here. This is Ziggs
My God, it's a
charging
game
down
of
the mid
catch.
lane. They're going to get 2 towers off of this in the mid lane, both the inner and the outer.
JDG looked very
that's
unsteady with the
huge
lead.
for
Yeah, I mean,
BLG.
this has been the
That's a
story of
huge
the
influx
entire
of
year.
gold, and it went into the pocket of the one member who needed it the most, which is Viper on this Ziggs. It's not going to be easy. Certainly isn't the game completely over or anything like that.
My
but
God.
that's a big mistake from JDG.
Surely
You
not.
were in the process of telling us that BLG
Surely
is never
not,
out of
man.
any
In
game. And trust me,
fog, by the way.
yes,
Yeah,
That
that
was
is in
in
fog.
fog.
completely in fog, which is absurd. Like, this entire initial engage is absurd. On basically just have to pay for the sins of the rest of the team here. Knight gets the stand United used on him, and Xiaoshu is super deep as this exchange goes, and now he's burned everything. Look,
I love
no
that they're just
ultimate,
2xing through
really
this
no way to
entire
continue to
replay.
fight, and FLANDRE sees the angle. He goes, okay,
Great
Bonky's
taunt
too
by
far
FLANDRE.
forward. He's done what he's done all series long, and he's postured as if he's the tank. He is not.
Oh
on
my
with a
God.
beautiful engage on the Alistar. Just absolute
I actually think they should
perfection
TP
from
top
him
for.
in
I
the
think they could get mid
re-engage.
inhib,
And at this point,
maybe
they do
bot top
have enough
inhib, maybe.
damage to be able to burst these guys down. JDG are still in control, but they cannot make mistakes like that.
Look at this gold graph. No matter who wins this game, this gold graph is going to be silly. And for JDG, gold is
Oh,
going to matter
Lord.
less
Oh,
as
Lord.
the game
Oh,
goes
Lord.
on, as we get closer
Oh.
to everybody finishing
If Knight
their
didn't peek
builds.
around the corner.
Would say that we're kind of in that late game scenario now. We have both of our bot laners sitting on 4 items
And it's 2
here.
dragons
We have
apiece
our
as well. This is the
junglers
scary
who are
thing.
really
Like, no
starting
one's
to
really
kick it in, but
close to getting
Junja
soul.
has a 3,500 gold lead. At
No
this
one's close
point.
to getting
He
soul at all.
Is, or has to be, the big carry. Someone who, time and time again, I think has faltered at the biggest moments here in the LPL, but this is a gold lead that I feel is almost untouchable.
Yeah, arrow coming through. It's going to go wide. That would have been their engage, but Gala, a big
Honestly,
tool
BLG
that is
just
on
dropped the Drake.
cooldown. That thing is going to be up very,
Just poke
very
them,
fast.
poke them,
JDG
play
can use
mid-wave,
that to create
poke them,
tempo.
don't get
Jax is
engaged.
here as well.
Poke them, don't get engaged.
All of this vision, not available anymore.
Poke them,
to
don't get
BLG.
engaged.
They're
Oh
gonna
my God.
completely be cut off.
Well,
There it
Honky-
is.
Oh!
World and a Seraphine ultimate across
Okay,
two
it's
members of BLG. That might have been the entirety of the last
Well
fight
played,
here
Honky. He
for
knew exactly what they had to
BLG.
do.
Xiaoshu is just tanking up 2 different
He knew
members.
ex-
He is
he knew
hunting
exactly
down
what he
the
had to do.
Fury. Knight is finding
nice out of
charge,
damage. Oh my
and he's
God,
finding
nice. Oh my
spear
God.
rushes into the back
Hey.
line. Double kill for him. Shen is teleporting mid. Where are you going, FLANDRE? Knight is going to just try to get out of this one. He doesn't have a flash. He doesn't have an ultimate. And maybe from Fog of War, Honky will execute him. Baron looks to be like that is going to be the trade here.
Dust
you have got
off
an
the edge
Aurora,
of your
you have
seats,
got an
folks.
Ashe. Let's
Yep.
take the big purple worm.
True.
Oh my God, they're making it so
Lord,
nerve-wracking. Oh, okay, it's just an insane late game team fight. Knight, for as much shit as we gave him throughout a lot of this game, this guy popped back up immediately. He's trying to pop off. Unfortunately, it's just not enough right now. Everything else is going wrong, I would say, on this game for
No one even took the
BLG.
dragon,
JDG
by
are
the
just
way.
outplaying them in a lot of these fights. They just don't have the damage. Nocturne has that Guardian Angel available. That makes it nearly impossible to burst him down at the start of these fights. And Honkyu's angle in terms of damage at the start
This is
here,
just such a good engage.
legitimately insane. We can see how this starts. Look at how much damage he's able to do to all of the backline members, comboed with the Seraphine ultimate. Nocturne dives in. It's a free kill onto, yes, the member who just picked up all the kills in the previous fight in Viper. And at this point, you know, the best you can do is pull off some sort of miracle as Knight to be able to pull some kills back. He's able to do that with a couple of members. It really is stylish, him going in and out, not getting feared. He's able to pick up the kill in time. Then, of course, the charm
This is-
alongside the extra damage.
I'm not gonna
The flash
lie.
is gorgeous. I mean, this is beautiful,
That
but
was
it's too little too
incredible.
late. You still lose out on that play, and they're going to
Incredible
lose
from
so
Knight.
quick.
Soul point going over to JDG. 2 Mountain Dragons. I may have talked about it at this point like 7 minutes ago, but BLG got that second dragon, or their second dragon of the game. So still 2 Mountain Dragons. Feels pretty good, but gold is becoming less and less relevant here in this game. And they still have a Baron that they have to work through for the next 2 minutes. Afterwards, we'll see what ends up becoming of this game, but the gold is just feeling, or the game anyway, is feeling like, when are JDG really going to find a team fight? Because right now it has been so back and forth between these two.
If there is a criticism for JDG's draft, it's that I don't think their front to back is super consistent. They need to continue to find these priority targets early and create these odd-numbered fights.
Yeah,
They've been
it's
doing a
weird.
good job of it so far, but the stronger and
It's
stronger
weird.
the
Neither team
BLG
really
get,
wants a front to
the
back.
scarier they're going to be in a lot
But the
of
way
these
that they
instances. We talked about the
engage
Fury
most of the
needing a
time
lot
is
of
probably
damage.
gonna
Well,
be
Knight has
front to back.
gotten online. That death cap is completed. Ari is hurting. You can't completely take BLG for granted.
Oh God.
That arrow
Game
hitting,
chaos.
though, is just going to get cleansed out, and we're going to be trading some cooldowns.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Pressure
Respect
Arky now.
on, try to look for it. Unbreakable will.
Is he gonna die through this?
Encore is going to go out. Honkyu's also going to try to
Okay,
force
hold on.
the issue.
Honky,
Stand
Honky's
United
dead.
to save the support, but they
But Knight got one
completely burst out. I mean, Honky
Well,
walked up and just took
the
out
game
Knight in the
is
middle of this
over.
fight. Chun as well trying to dive into the backline, but Xiaoshu is way too tanky. The damage of BLG are gone, and that is it.
Well.
That is going to be a triple kill over to HongQ. That is going to be JDG finding their
can't
first
believe it, bro.
win against BLG since January.
First win in
JD
8
Gaming
months
pull off a
over
massive
BLG.
upset. They keep their good vibes going. They're going to be 4-0 in their last 4.
That's going to be an insane look. 5-4.
Well,
We're
well,
going
well.
into the second half of the round robin. We're going
Well.
into the couple of weeks right before playoffs. And JDG, for their misgivings, are finding their form, and
Not
they're
bad,
making it
Berg.
look good. They're taking down the best team in the LPL.
Not bad.
I've heard this story before, Alk. I have felt this before. Oh, top 8 team overrated. Their drafts aren't even all that good. They're not consistent. They don't win in the regular season.
Not
It's
bad at all.
happening again. Once again, at least
All
in
right.
this case, JDG is
Well,
going to be firing
what a
back. This
series.
is as big of a win as you could possibly pick up.
What
We
a
had
series.
a lot
This feels
to see
so
from
good
BLG
for
today
JDG.
in terms of the way they played.
Especially, like,
You know,
let's
a lot
just
of mistakes,
quickly-
I think, from them. I think, you know, people are going to criticize
Important
this game 3
thing
draft.
is
and I
just,
think
like,
that's
where they
warranted,
are in
but
playoffs.
Their gameplay was worse. I mean, they
Because
got
they
outplayed in game
ideally,
number
like,
3. There's really no
getting
ifs, ands,
higher
or buts
seeds
about it.
actually feels really
Super
nice.
excited to see that JDG is still going to be a threat that can compete near the top of the LPL.
Where's
It's
the playoffs
incredibly dangerous to also be able to
There's just
win,
no
I think,
playoffs tab.
into a draft that is
Okay, well, let's...
what I would consider fairly expensive for BLG to lose. Even if, you know, it's the end
So,
of the
like,
series, it's game 3, we won't see any more drafts.
the
from this point
higher
onwards.
seed you are, you actually
If you're
tend to
able
get nicer
beat
matchups.
BLG on things like
You actually
Ari,
do tend to get
on
nicer
things like
matchups. So you
Shows,
really ideally would like
the Fury, which is
higher
4-0,
seeding.
to
Yeah.
beat On,
Rest
in
assured,
top 4.
friend,
or
I
to
am
beat
not
Shen,
that big
who
nose
we
gorilla.
originally thought was for On. Very
And then, of course,
creative in the way that they did it. Yeah, the Nocturne.
I think they're doing it
being
slightly
super
differently because there's
impactful
less
in this
teams
game.
this year.
The early lane, though, that 2v2 in
But
mid
you
became so
always,
impactful for how
you always
want
wanna
to
avoid
snowball this game.
Somehow
HongQ
magically
was
landing. I mean, then
monstrous
you
on
want to
this
avoid
Aurora.
like being a bottom.
Really just took
bottom end
advantage
this.
of Knight's lack of domination in that early laning phase.
Closer-
HongQ was not
closer you
good
are to the middle,
in games
it's
1
just
and 2. I don't
significantly
think I'm
nicer. Should have
crazy
played
for
Wembo.
saying that
Yeah,
they
it's
obviously
true.
were able to pick up a win in game
All
number
right,
2, but
YouTube chatters. I am gonna end the stream on YouTube here because I tend to only do co-stream VODs, co-stream streams on YouTube. I'm still gonna be live on Twitch, and I'm gonna go through today's LCK, very specifically DK versus KT. I know DNS beat Nongshim. I'm not watching DNS Nongshim. I just want to see how DK ended up winning versus KT. So if you're interested in that, feel free to hop over. But on the YouTube end, this is going to be the end of the stream. Jamada on Twitch, yes, it is the exact same handle. Sorry, I should probably say that, shouldn't I? Exact same handle on Twitch. So if that's something you're interested in, feel free to hop over. But otherwise, the LPL stream is done here. Thanks so much for hanging out on YouTube. Chatters, take it easy, have a good day, and I will see you at some point during the week. And for the YouTube regulars, the next co-stream will probably be this ALJDG series for LPL. Okay, so see you on Friday. Bye, guys.